Hell yeah. Shoot to kill!
PlayStation.
The 6th International VR Awards pre-show, brought to you by Vertigo Games.
Hello, and welcome to the 6th International VR Awards pre-show. My name is Ashley Riot Blake from Andromeda Entertainment, and we are very excited to be back in person coming to you from Rotterdam at Vertigo Games headquarters to share the excitement and see what's in store for the red carpet moments at the VR Awards. Since we're in Rotterdam for Immersive Tech Week, today's show is brought to you by Vertigo Games, creators of the wildly popular Arizona Sunshine, as well as their latest release, After the Fall. As always, I'm joined by a lineup of specialists from across the industry to weigh in with their thoughts, opinions, and insights ahead of tonight's ceremony. Let's take a look at who they are.
I go first. So my name is Leland Hedges, and I'm here representing Pico. I'm the general manager of all of our European operations. Originally, Pico was a pure enterprise company, but as of this year, starting with the Pico Neo 3 Link, and now with the Pico 4, we are both a enterprise-based and a consumer-focused company. And it's a pleasure to be here to be able to talk with all these other panelists about all the amazing content and games that got released this year.
And I'm Eugenio Hilar. I'm a producer and the game scout here at Vertigo Games. So VR game developer and publisher, creators of the wildly popular Arizona Sunshine. and I'm just happy to be here and looking at, with these other panelists, looking at well, everything going on in the world of VR.
Yeah, indeed, very exciting. My name is Matthias. I'm head of content marketing for Sensorium. I work at the corporate level, but today we are very excited to be here to represent Sensorium Galaxy, which is our VR metaverse, and as well to get into these exciting new things going on in the industry. Yeah, so thank you, Ashley.
Awesome, so excited to be here tonight with you all. And if you're following along from home, you can scan the QR code that's on your screen right now to view a copy of the 6th International VR Awards program and find out more behind the scenes on the making of the show, including some brief descriptions on each of the finalists. Also, Pico is going to be giving away 2 headsets during the show. So simply tweet your favorite VR game from this last year, along with the hashtags VRA22 and hashtag VRAWin. For your chance to win. The giveaway is going to close at 7:30 p.m. CET on December 2nd. The winners are going to be chosen at random and you will be contacted directly. Okay, so for now, let's take a deep dive into the lesser known areas of VR: healthcare, education, and training, as well as enterprise. Let's start with Leland.
Sure. Ashley, I know some of these are lesser known because they don't maybe have consumer marketing behind them. But obviously, these are many of these developers. These applications are near and dear to my heart because I think VR should be both for entertainment, but it also should be for the improvement of human society. And we're going to talk about healthcare. We're going to talk about education, and then we're going to talk about the enterprise category. So in the category of healthcare, one of the oldest and best Pico partners in this category is Rendeavor, and they basically make VR applications to help with the elderly and help people achieve more in their life in terms of like pain management, distraction therapy, things like that. So when you think about all the ways, gaming is a great way to distract in a home environment, but there's obviously millions of people who are not mobile, and VR can transport them, can bring them to amazing new places, can allow them to unlock their creativity. So in terms of healthcare, obviously I'm a big fan of Rendeavor. I don't know if you guys have any other healthcare, or I can...
Well, looking at some of these finalists, I was particularly captivated by what Precision OS is doing. I really like the idea of working with an NGO and providing these kind of trainings remotely. I believe it's one great use case for VR technology. And yeah, I believe that when we're talking about VR in the healthcare sector, we're talking about reducing time for these trainings and reducing costs, which is they are very costly to produce in the physical world. And sometimes when we're talking about remote locations, it's just you have to fly professionals all over the world, and that takes time. And yeah, just the fact that you can do it remotely with VR and you can get things done, I believe that's just amazing.
Yeah, and another finalist in healthcare is, I believe it's healthcare, not training, is Simex, who teaches like emergency response training. And obviously that's something to fly or to bring the trainers to all the different locations that you need to bring them, instead be able to do the training through VR remotely, possibly huge improvement. Is there?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty aligned with that idea. I mean, I think that VR has a lot of potential when it comes to emergency care and putting us in these situations that we might not know how to react, and yeah, provide us with some guidelines. I believe that in this regards, VR does a great job.
Yeah, a finalist that really stood out to me is Forest of Resilience. So it's this is basically to help people with their mental health, basically, like in terms of resilience and kind of meditative experiences. And I think that's a great use case for VR as well. Like Leland said, and I second that, it's not just about just entertaining, making more immersive games, for example, but this immersiveness can also just help people take care of themselves. And this is a great example of you put the headset on, you're completely immersed in what you're doing, which is taking care of your mental health in that moment. And I mean, in these categories, you can really see a lot of the diversity. And in the other, on the other spectrum is things that you were covering, such as training. So there's some stuff like the Versius training in VR. So Versius is this robotic surgery system, and there's basically it's a training system for using this really complex equipment. And you can see how doing it in VR is just way more practical than just having all the machines for everyone that needs to train at the same time, while also being very tactile, as opposed to just swiping on a screen or clicking with a mouse. It's actually people are learning how things are being used. And I think that also takes us into the more broader category of education and training. And you can see a lot of examples of this. And I think one of the finalists has put it in a very good way, and this is the forklift VR training system from Flint Systems. So they have, it's not just the VR simulation, but they have a full hardware simulating the entire.
100% recreate,
yeah, exactly, like the physical forklift. But what they are doing and what they say there is that doing it this way enables the training to cover maybe exercises that would just not be practical in real life, or would endanger people if you actually do these exercises. But you can do it in the simulation and actually train people for these use cases.
Yeah. Go.
No, I was just going to add in that same line that, you know, in the category of VR Enterprise of the Year, we had actually tunnel skills that it's being developed with Make Real. And yeah, they were working exactly in this area as well, you know, providing this kind of trainings for tunnel workers. And if you have to run these kind of trainings in the physical world, you are putting people that might not have the knowledge from, you know, first day in a dangerous situation. And I think that, you know, preparing them mentally and preparing them, you know, for this kind of environment using VR technology, it's just great.
Yeah, and one of the other examples from training, education that I really like, there is a great ladder VR example, which totally falls into the topic or the other nominees that you guys brought up, but one that I love that's taking a different part of the world and bringing it to VR is Rezel. So Rezel is taking a lot of learnings from the professional athlete, like the most fit, high performance people who are working in these incredibly stressful environments, and taking what they learn from the athletes and then taking those learnings and bringing them both to like people who are on the beginning of their athletic journey, but even looking for applications outside of the pure realm of athletes. Like how can you teach people using VR how to handle all kinds of scenarios or situations better, right? So like the overlap moving between like a consumer type of world, which is, you know, soccer, football, players, fitness, and then bringing that into the professional space and going back and forth between the two. Rezel, I think, will come up again in some other categories as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we're talking about trainings, we are not just talking about, you know, healthcare. We can also be talking about, you know, sales teams. We can also be talking about consumer-facing professions, right? And one of the examples, it's actually something that was done for St. James Place Wealth Management, and they have been, you know, taking financial advisors and putting them in situations where they would, you know, test how they will react with different clients at their homes, different conversations, and, you know, at the end of the day, they're talking about money and the best interest of their clients. So having them trained in a way that, you know, they can react positively on the feedback of the client, and yeah, I believe that is also one of the cases.
Yeah, and I think taking it even further into the realm of, let's say, just regular people. I mean, you have things like Avantis with Avantis World, yep, which is just a pure educational VR experience for schools. So you have school children actually putting on the headset and kind of living the lessons. They're transported to like locations where they can interact with things and learn that way. It just makes it way more. It just makes for a way more immersive and tactile kind of experience for children to learn.
True. Awesome, and we could talk about this forever, but we're going to wrap up there and go to a quick...
I had two more. Let me just say Metaverse showroom. All I want to say is also Metaverse can be great, or this is a great example of how you can bring VR into a really practical marketing sales type scenario. But let's leave it at that. Thank you. Sorry.
Forever. Really great, really great finalists this year.
The 6th International VR Awards Pre-Show, brought to you by Vertigo Games.
I am very much looking forward to the VR Awards this year. I think it's been an incredible season of wonderful nominations. Just getting to see all of the submissions as a judge has been fantastic. And I am really looking forward to seeing the winners, but also seeing the collaboration that's going to come out of all these conversations, all of these different companies and organizations that may be across the globe, and they're finally getting to come together and collaborate and talk about the future of this space. So I think that's going to be really special at this year's awards. And over the past 12 months since last year's awards, there have been so many changes in virtual and augmented reality, any sort of extended reality, a lot to do with the pandemic and how that kind of shifted investment, I would say, in this technology forward. There have been a lot more people interested in the tech, really understanding the power of virtual learning, virtual immersion, and how those experiences really can bring people together when they can't physically be together. So I'm really excited about the innovation in the space, the collaboration, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Some companies stood out among the others this past year in terms of their social impact, exceptional innovation, or even their rapid ascent. Mateus, do you want to talk to us a little bit about the categories of VR social impact, rising VR company, and innovative VR company of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, a lot to say, not so much time, but what I would like to start with is the fact that, there's been a lot of skepticism about VR being a solo experience. And I think that that's completely from the side of the people that are in this industry is something that we have to be very clear about. VR is not a solo experience. It's something social. And I think that a lot of these projects have been very much aligned and proving that point. In the social aspect, social impact aspect, something that really caught my eyes was Hope for Haiti. I really think that the fact that you can put people in that situation to kind of create awareness of those very, very harsh situations, environments, and then be able to use that for fundraising and active campaigns that support those locations. I think that is something great. When we move then to other aspects like innovation, I particularly would like to mention Sensorium, because I think that we're doing a good job at this particular category. I really like the fact that we are bringing a lot of artificial intelligence to the metaverse, to our VR metaverse, and in particular, it's also related to the social component, because we're talking about solving this social isolation through AI, and we are, making these virtual beings avatars that can introduce you to other people, guide you in your way to the metaverse. You can talk to them, customize their AI, and I think that is really positive, because you don't want to get into a metaverse platform and find that it's you and 10 other guys, right? So we want a social component, and that should be very strong.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would say that within social impact, one of the ones that really stood out to me is the LGBTQ plus museum. So I think it just shows kind of the power, and again, it's also can be a social experience, like Matthias was saying. And I think it's maybe one of the reasons it stood out to me is like just the personal story of the founder, of the creator of this, that when she came out, her family apparently took it terribly, so she had a really bad experience with that. And that got her into thinking of ways of improving that. And apparently the strongest predictor for homophobia or these kind of reactions is the lack of exposure to LGBTQ people and content. So she set about creating this museum. And then the great thing is that she did not have the resources or the knowledge for creating a physical museum, which would have been the traditional route. So she did it digitally. But I think that may make it even more powerful because it's just so much more widely available now. And in VR, you can do it socially, you can experience it like yourself as well. And it kind of like makes this just more broadly available for everyone, whether it's someone that just needs to be exposed and be educated, or because it's someone who's going through a similar experience and it will help them go through their own experience. It's just a very powerful way of using technology, I think.
Yeah, I would say my best of the nominees, the one that I definitely can totally relate with and really appreciate what they're doing is Verti, which is basically helping frontline medical staff deal with the new, crazy, complicated environment that they live in. My sister-in-law is an ER nurse, and I can tell you over the last 2 years, the fear and anger, and they're just trying to help people, and being able to wear a headset and go into a 15, 20-minute relaxation, or being able to go through some de-escalation training, like anything we can do to help with the mental health and wellness of some of these frontline workers. So for me, Verti is also a great, powerful example of social good. I'm getting my rising and innovative companies confused. Do you have a good example?
I do actually. Well, I wanted to mention Genius X. Yeah, they're doing a great job in the side of, again, education, and I think that again it's overlapped a little bit with what we were talking about, but again I think that the fact that they are also focusing right now on diversifying that content offer and not just focusing on trainings or so on, but also like on the professional side, but also providing yoga classes, relaxation practices. We particularly at Sensorium, I can tell you, it's huge. We believe that is a huge direction that the industry will be taking, because at the end of the day, not only you could use your headsets to train, for instance, at home, but you could also do it to relax and being able to really get in a different state of mind. And the same can be applied very much to what we were discussing just now, relief on anxiety, even helping, people with dealing with autism, training them in social environments. And I believe that, yeah, the list goes on and on, but very much all of these projects are very much aligned in what we should be doing. Right.
And Genius X is one of the Rising Star finalists.
That's correct.
Or Rising Company finalists, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, speaking of rising your companies, and I'm going to lighten up a bit and start taking it to the world of entertainment, because there's just one here that is just near and dear to us at Vertigo, and this is Another Way. So they are the creators of Unplugged, air guitar. We worked together publishing that game. But I can totally see why they are a rising VR company. I mean, this really was a passion project for them, I can tell you. And it was basically created really at the cutting edge of where the technology was at the moment, and just kind of pushing it further. It was this just using hand tracking when basically hand tracking was in its infancy, you could say, and just trying to do as much as possible. So much so that when Oculus released the big update to Hands 2.0, which just increased the capabilities of hand tracking, the game was immediately updated to that, where they just completely redid all of the songs because now they were enabled to do what they wanted to do originally, and before they were kind of held back. So they were like just pushing at the boundaries and following them along with this, and I can just see them doing so many more great things.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing. I mean, that in terms of innovation, I think that one of the discussions that we should be talking, regardless of VR headsets, which are probably the prime of the hardware right now, haptic as well. So like, and I think that Magos is also stepping and showing real progress. I think that the idea that you can really track your fingers in a very good way and try to feel what you are experiencing in virtual reality, I think that that's just it's very necessary.
I think just to quickly call out some of the companies that have been around through thick and thin of VR, and this year they've knocked it out of the park in terms of some of their hit games and the innovation that they're doing. Like Alchemy Labs is a great example, and Dreams is another great example. So I think like when we get to the gaming content, we'll be able to really dig into the specific IPs, but definitely, it was a year where probably not as much creativity or games got released. Many people have been debating whether this year represented a lower year than the past couple of years, but there were some stellar titles that came out, and the studios that are working at Vertigo Games is another great example. Where the content's going in the next year or two is amazing.
Yeah, and back to what Matthias was saying, I think it's also overall like innovation in hardware, and it's not just headsets. And I think just haptics and kind of VR interactions in general are a big direction where I think the industry will have to grow. And you can see, for example, a company like Emerge, they have a product called the Wave 1, which is basically, it just sounds like a crazy sci-fi concept when you say it out loud, but it basically has ultrasound waves that you can kind of touch. It's like you're just grasping air, but you can feel the resistance. You can feel with your bare hands like you're interacting with something. You can be with someone and kind of shake their hands virtually when they're on the other side of the world. It's like this kind of crazy things that you would think of like a few years ago that are now starting to become a reality.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, the idea that you have to wear a full suit to, kind of experience that nowadays, maybe, there's room for improvement for sure. And I think some of these companies are really moving in that direction and making great progress. Yeah.
I think we'll get to it, but
yeah,
there's some overlap with the innovative tech and stuff happening in the next category, especially LBE, like being able to track as many objects as possible in a play space, having multi-users in a play space, in a shared space, picking up objects. You guys are obviously, this is a huge part of your value that you create. So trying to think of.
We've got a few more minutes still. They're still saying that we have a couple.
Okay. Yeah, so again, basically what I could add is that here at Sensorium, for instance, we are also working in the fact of this relaxation and mindfulness area. In fact, our second virtual wall that we are planning to launch next year is going to be dedicated to that. So we're going to have, relaxation practices, courses, and different seminars. And I think that, again, it's not just us. It's something that really works because we've experienced it. We've been testing it, and people really get into this state of mind capable of relax a lot better than just, join a group yoga class. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about innovative VR companies, and I hear Andromeda Entertainment is up for that.
We are one of the innovative VR companies. We've done mindfulness as well. Our flagship game was Sound Self, which was a technologic where you used your voice to kind of control the game. And then we moved to the rhythm game category with Audio Trip. And now our focus this year has just been really supporting developers to get their headsets or their games onto as many headsets as possible, kind of changing the landscape. And we have found being nimble and changing as much as you can in the industry is particularly helpful as far as innovation. And so that's kind of why we're here as well.
I know Audio Trip was a big success for Pico in China, so
yes.
It was good that we were able to collaborate around that.
We want everybody to find as much success and find, get everywhere that they can. So. But there are some ridiculous finalists, Sensorium's on the list, and we're up against some pretty wild talent this year. So, And I think we still have a couple of minutes. Is there any other of the innovative, or they might be telling us to wrap up shortly, so if anybody's got one more comment, we can fit that in.
Well, I could mention Lucid Reality Labs. I think that has been really also a great example on leveraging awareness for very serious matter. They've been working with the symptoms of macular disease, and they've been pushing that development and trying to show it to politicians so that they could, get policies that support that disease, something that has not been done yet in the UK. And I guess that is a great other example of how
Awesome.
does that work.
Yeah, we had they just told us right as you started talking, so we have another video for the audience that we're going to play now.
The 6th International VR Awards Pre-Show, brought to you by Vertigo Games.
Since the VR Awards was founded and AIXR Games began in 2017, the VR sector is almost unrecognizable. We've seen big players such as Sony, Meta, and Valve join this space by manufacturing their own virtual reality hardware and software. Not only that, but new hardware iterations have come thick and fast, enabling developers and publishers to be constantly thinking about what's next. And with new hardware just around the corner, we can't wait to see what kinds of experiences we'll be developing in 2023 and beyond. We've all
From entertainment to marketing and film, we've seen a rise of different approaches as far as VR goes. Do you want to talk about some of the nominees for LBE Entertainment of the Year, VR Marketing Campaign of the Year, and VR Film of the Year?
Yeah, of course. I mean, honestly, if you talk about the films, there are two finalists, which are David Attenborough documentaries, and I think that's all I have to say. We can just wrap up the entire category. I think VR has arrived. No, but seriously, yes, just the man's a treasure. You know that. But being just immersed in these worlds, right? So that's one of them is that I just found so interesting is Kingdom of Plants, and basically they used and they developed custom cameras just to go like really in there and show things from a point of view and from just the level of closeness that you would not be able to experience, and you're experiencing it in VR with this full spatial sound that just it's I think it's another level of kind of immersion for a documentary that you're experiencing. So I think that's just great, and there's so many great films here. But another one that stood out was one called Namu, and one of the interesting parts of that it's an animated film, and it was made in Quill, which is this VR creation app. So basically, it's not just a VR film; it was created in VR, and then they just meticulously, painstakingly animated it frame by frame, like it's a stop motion picture, but it's full 3D in VR, created in VR for VR. It's just great, I think, innovation push in the entertainment space.
Super cool. Yeah, absolutely. I think that the use of VR in movies, it's really changing the way movies are produced itself. So it's not just a matter of streaming something in virtual reality. It's this technology is just giving endless opportunities for the script writers to put the watchers, the viewers of these movies right at the center of the narrative of these movies with a high level of immersion and interactivity. So I think that is one of the keys, that you just don't watch, but you take an active role in those movies, and you can decide on different paths, interact with the actors in certain pieces, or decide what kind of content even you want during the movie. I think that those kind of things are huge. Yeah, I particularly liked again on the social aspect, but again, this movie was produced, it's called Diagnosia. Yeah, and it basically what does, it shows, it reflects how is it to be a person addicted to the internet. And it raises awareness on how governments have been doing this, particularly in China. So basically, it puts you, this experience, this movie puts you in a way, connects you with the thoughts of a real person that has been in one of these campuses or diagnostic centers, let's call them, in that region. And well, he shares these experiences, and again, it raises some questions on, are governments doing enough on this? Are governments taking, you know, the right way, the right path on solving this matter? Or, you know, there have been some maybe pitfalls on that, yeah. So I think that that social component, again, movies make a great job on that.
Yeah, my film is unfortunately the one that stands out among the ones the nominees is I think it's called TARDIS, but it's about 9/11. Obviously, we've just passed the 20th anniversary, and that is a day that lives in. It's one of those days that you just need to say the first, you know, the month and the date, and everyone knows exactly what you're talking about. So being able to memorialize what happened there, capture and document what happened with the survivors, and maintain the, you know, there is a whole generation of people now getting VR headsets who only know about 9/11 as a moment in the history books, but VR obviously is like a way of bringing you back into that experience and getting a kind of firsthand experience, firsthand perspective from the people who were there, what happened. So documentaries will never be the same. I think all of us hit on the impact that's going to happen with documentary filmmaking, and when you combine it with VR technology, it's really incredible.
Yeah, and another level is when you take it as well to when you're talking about LBE. So when you just have these completely free roam custom experiences that you're not just sitting there experiencing in VR, you're walking around, you're doing these things. And so I think a great example that stands out is the Infinite. So this is the world's biggest LBE installation, and it's also the world's first traveling installation, which I love, because that's the thing is part of the great thing of VR is that it takes you to these places that you could not otherwise visit. But the downside of it being LBE is that you have to have access to the LBE location, right? Which kind of is the same problem all over again. And now they're traveling, taking this experience in different places of the world. That's a great way of doing it. And it also reminds you of like older days when you had like these traveling entertainment experiences, just going all over visiting different towns. But this one is great because it's just huge, and it immerses you into kind of the life of an astronaut going to the International Space Station. So it gives the opportunity of giving you this experience, which like just very, very few people will ever have, but I think everyone would want to experience in some way or another. So just being able to walk around like you're you're like taking off in the rocket, and then going on the International Space Station, and just seeing what life is like for astronauts just up close is great.
Well, for me, the LBE, and we've worked with this with Universal in the past on an Attack on Titan, and now they're doing Monster Hunter. And if you want to talk about some of the most like huge fandom for these IPs, and the bar that you have to get to when you're talking about like a Universal park, and the quality of the experience, and the fact that VR is being used in this like high pressure, very commercial, industrial, it needs to work every time. The headsets need to be cleaned quickly. They need to be always charged. They need to be easy to operate.
Unbelievably accessible experience.
Yeah, it's like, and when you combine that with Monster Hunter, which is like a top 10 IP, and like to take that quality IP and put it with this technology, and the risks that there must have been, and the testing, and have it work is like, it's Like I'm super looking forward to going more and more amusement parks and seeing not just roller coaster, which has been working for a while, but like free roam, amazing IPs. We know that Star Wars, they do a lot in VR. So anyway, for me, Monster Hunter and Universal Park was like one of the standout nominees.
Yeah, I think that it's great that these big brands are producing these experiences because it's also a great way for the general audience that might not be aware of VR or not have the opportunity yet to try it to just get on a headset and really experience the possibilities of this virtual reality, and using these brands and using these spaces where you have huge flow of people, then it's obviously great. From my list, I think that I'll mention Red Bull The Edge, which I particularly like. I like climbing, and it seemed great. What they've been doing, it's in collaboration with athletes and mountain athletes. They created this experience where you can get a feel of how is it to actually climb some of the hardest parts in this Matterhorn summit. So I think that it's been displayed in the Swiss Museum of Transport. So again, high volume locations where you get a lot of awareness and people get to try it.
I think we didn't talk about any marketing, or maybe that was your marketing.
I was going to bring us to the marketing. We've done the films and the LBE, but marketing campaign of the year.
I was looking into the Philips, and like Philips is just a well-known brand, but they made a really great program activation around. It's like Wonder is in the title. It's basically how can you tell your brand story to journalists in a way that's much more immersive, and I think Philips did a fantastic job with that execution. So.
Yeah, I think another great example in your case, it's journalists, but I think it's more companies with their clients. It's Canvas's project with Arxen. So Arxen is this marine exploration vessel, so basically a boat that goes into dangerous seas, and they're building these things for clients, and usually when you're getting there and you're customizing it and everything, it would be just a CAD file on a computer or something. But now they're doing that in real time in VR as well. So they can go to a customer and just say like, hey, put on the headset, walk through it, tell me what you think, what you want to change, and they're doing all this in real time there in VR, which is just great. It's another way of really engaging with customers and kind of showing them what they're going to get.
Awesome. Yeah, just to add from my side, I think Gathering has also been one project to mention. So it's a first community-based game, and basically what they've been doing is focusing on the community from day one, and their goal was to get a lot of users on their game, and what we've been doing is involving community from day one on the concept. So they've been getting a lot of feedback from the community and really shaping it all the way till development. Yeah, so
I love that.
Yeah.
Great thoughts. So we've got a couple of minutes and we will be back talking about more finalists when we return.
The 6th International VR Awards Pre-Show, brought to you by Vertigo Games.
Hey guys, my name is Chris, and let me tell you that judging this year's VR Awards has been really something to behold. Never before have I seen so many
they're nominated for Lost Recipes, which is a cooking experience. But what makes it unique is you're trying recipes from ancient Greece, I believe, from the Mayan culture, and actually, total non sequitur, but like I studied archaeology. That was my professional training, and I did multiple times digs in places like the Yucatan. So for me, like this is just the most, it taps into a deep moment of like, this is like exactly what the 20-year-old version of me thinking about what this technology could do and trying to take what is a dusty, old, dry topic, how did ancient people eat, and turn it into something that's interactive, that makes the experience alive for people. I mean, it touches back on some of the education stuff we've been talking about. Anyway, this is the fantasy part of VR that, this is why it's up for Experience of the Year. So,
yeah, and just speaking about experiences, that's, and I hope I don't murder the name of this because my French is terrible, but Les Bals de Paris de Blancali. So it's, no?
I think you did
that
much better than me.
I apologize. I apologize to any French speakers out there. But this is a free roam VR experience, which is basically kind of like a live show with full body awareness. So they've captured two kind of professional dancers doing the dance, and you have 10 spectators kind of walking around in real time, kind of experiencing that whole thing. It won, of course, like it, as you might know, won the best VR experiences of the Venice Film Festival recently. But it's this type of experiences that, to me, is just something that is just unique. You know, it's on its own. You can't take an experience like this and just say like, oh, this is just like that, I don't know, movie just put in VR. No, this is a uniquely VR experience. It's another way to experience dance.
Yeah, and speaking about uniqueness, I think that one of the angles that as well we are really pioneering on is the production of these AI artists, which we are using generative music so that we can create these unique characters, personalities, and they can produce autonomously music of high quality, you know, and dances as well. They are able to, you know, produce these tracks. In fact, some of them are already available on Spotify and so on. So we got some of our artists already there with their art, and they are totally AI driven. So I think that it's also something that, yeah, it's worth mentioning when we're talking about uniqueness.
For sure. We actually have a little bit more time during this segment, so you guys don't have to be as careful because we're just talking about experiences. So if you want to touch on some of your other favorite experiences from the list, you do have time.
Well, I think it was interesting what Leland was touching upon with his total non sequitur about experiencing other cultures, because I think that's kind of just the immersiveness of VR. It's you can bring that to people, right? And there's for example, there's one that Journey to the Future, which is kind of an Arab culture-inspired experience, and it's this kind of from the perspective of someone from Saudi Arabia and wanting to bring that sort of culture, that representation to other people to experience, right? And creating this story-driven kind of experience that just dives into the culture and allows people to experience it. I think it's just a powerful way of expressing these things and allowing other people to get to know these kind of cultures that they might otherwise not have like that full access to.
Awesome. So now we can talk about one of everybody's favorite categories out there. There is a lot to creating entertaining and informative content about VR out there. So what do we find most differentiating about this year's finalists for VR Content Creator of the Year? And anybody can jump into this, one of the fan favorites.
I'm going to be self-serving and say, like, I love the content creators and the long-form content that you see, like Thrill Seeker on YouTube and going into 15, 20-minute tutorials and like really digging into the tech and looking at new product announcements and how we frame our product, for instance, the Pico 4, but like I am also part of, you know, sister part of my company is TikTok, and watching what the creators have done with mixed reality capture, like Nacy is able to like do these amazing, really short, intense, but really vibrant, it's like Beat Saber or Pistol Whip or whatever. Like some of the short form, so I think we've seen, we could go through all the creators and a lot of them started off in long form, like especially YouTube, but now watching them play around with this new short form medium, which is TikTok and Reels and whatever else, but it's really cool. For me, I think for the next generation of consumers of VR, especially people who are like passionate about the games, like being able to see in 15 seconds a creator put together, like here's what this level's like, here's the like key rhythm section to it. So anyway, so for me, that's been the main innovation or change among the creators, at least I'm seeing, you know, as a consumer of their material.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about different, different content formats, something that particularly catch my eye personally was what the podcast Voice of VR. That it's by Ken Vai.
Talk about long form content.
Yeah, exactly.
100 or 1,000 episodes. Not afraid. It's something incredible.
It's
body
just
of work.
Yeah, it's just incredible work, and I think that it's something very original as well. So instead of maybe getting on reviews or these kind of things, going on maybe harder to digest topics like philosophy of VR or the ethics. I think that really stands out.
He also does incredible threaded tweets after most keynotes, and his like 13 threaded tweets are, well, who knows how much longer Twitter will be around, but anyway, his like summary of a keynote into 15, 20 sound bites is like really impressive. So.
Yeah, so I think that's something I really like about like great content creators are, of course, like just VR content creators in general are just very entertaining, but the good ones are also very insightful, It's like you can just go in there, it's like just listen to Between Realities, for example. I can just listen to those guys talk all day, It's and as me as a VR game industry professional as well, I'm constantly just looking at what's out there, what are people playing, what are they into, what are the latest games like, this sort of thing, and it's just invaluable, and the thing is, it makes my work fun as well, because I'm doing research and it's always, I end up in a video of like Kaz and Sherry or Gamer Talk VR. It's just inevitable. I search for like, oh, what is this game? Let me check it out. And there's, boom, at the top, it's Kaz and Sherry playing it, or Gamer Tech VR, or one of these things. And I can just pop into their video, and they're always just really digging into it, which I really like. Because it gives you kind of the perspective of someone that is kind of knows their stuff in VR, plays a lot of things, really kind of thinks about what they are playing, and kind of gives you that kind of perspective immediately just by watching them. Yeah,
but at the same time, I think that a lot of these materials are very, very useful for people getting started just in VR. Yeah. So, when you're looking, maybe you might be trying to find out a game that suits, your style or so, and these reviews are extremely useful to just get a feel of what to expect there, and they are doing really a great job at doing that.
Well, and they also like a hardware company like me, or games, like you have to be informative and sometimes finding the right line with humor, but like obviously the content creators push the envelope of what the tech, like Nathy's out there riding a motorized electric bike with our pass-through video to show people, or people reading their watch face with the pass-through. And it's like a much more humanizing way to talk about what is a really innovative feature, but we're talking about it, 16 megapixel camera. They're doing something like walking around their home environment, making breakfast. It's just like, without them, us who work in the tech sometimes spend too much time talking about the tech. Yeah. And it's the content creators who take the tech, summarize it, make it maybe a little bit more entertaining, lighthearted, bring it back to the fans, give them some honest opinions. So, I mean, without them, I think, yeah, exactly.
Content creator.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think you really hit the nail on the head. And it's the same for games, honestly. It's one thing for me to just like see a game or try it myself, because when I'm doing it at work, for example, we're looking at it from this. We're immersed in VR game creation all day and publishing and looking at games and everything, but to see them put it on and then see how they play it and how their experience is like and how like immersed they get into it and everything, and it's different than me just kind of going and putting something in a
quality feedback. So.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Super awesome. We got a couple more minutes if anybody wants to talk about one more content creator before we move on your list. Who we missed? Did we get Nacy?
He got the bike call out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, I really liked also, I was looking at what Karen X Chang is doing. I do like the tutorials. I do think that, and again, I think she's been experimenting a lot in this short format as well. So like YouTube Shorts and so. Again, that's very useful because I believe it's very much aligned to what audiences expect nowadays. So as you would understand, the attention span is shorter and shorter, and I think that they're aligning very, very well, and I think in a very fun and entertaining way.
Okay, let's ask about what is your favorite clip that you've ever seen of either your game or your headset or any of your products? Does anybody have one? From your cut. This was a trick question. They were not ready for it. It was not on there, but they still have.
I already used my best example.
Yeah, you had one.
Which is pass through. Like,
yeah.
obviously
that Nathy one was great.
Yeah, well,
I saw that clip.
And like, it's a new feature. A lot of people have only seen grayscale, and you ask like, what happens when it's color? How clear can it be? And like humanizing the tech by doing somewhat silly things like using it in your home to whatever to make a breakfast or riding a bike outside, which is probably not safe. But those are like, that tells you, hey, this is like a big improvement over what you were used to before. And that's like, I can say huge improvement, but like it has to come from an outside, independent, trusted person.
Otherwise you're marketing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, good luck to all of the content creators out there. Let's move on now. So numerous people have been keeping the innovation flowing in the XR world. But tonight, with the Accenture VR Lifetime Achievement Award, the Lifetime Achievement Award, we honor Dr. Jacqueline Ford Marie, founder and chief scientist of all these worlds. And now a quick video.
The 6th International VR Awards pre-show, brought to you by Vertigo Games.
What I'm most looking forward to this VR Awards is actually to be in the same room with XR aficionados. It's been great to uphold the tradition and have the VR Awards ceremony happen these past 2 years virtually. But I can say I'm not excited to finally be in the same room with all these creators and just be there in person, ask about their projects, the professional ones, the passion ones, and the secret ones as well. And just have a good time, as the VR Awards party is sure to provide us all.
Technological change has been at the forefront of this year's discussions. So what have the VR Hardware of the Year finalists brought to the table this year? And let's start with Leland.
Sure. So given the timing of when you had to submit your announcements, it was about 2 weeks before we announced our newest product, which is the Pico 4. So the product that we have in this category is our beta product, was the first ever outside of China consumer model that we ever released, which was the Pico Neo 3 Link. And if you think about what that product's purpose was and what we hoped it would do, it would build a community, a vibrant community in places like Reddit and Discord, having people familiarize themselves with Pico, with our SDK, what is possible with the technology, and really lay the foundation for the Pico 4, which then we released. And one thing we were able to do and execute here in the Europe region is offer all Pico 4 customers a 35% discount if they had bought the Neo 3 Link. So in general, like for us, the Neo 3 Link It's got the DP cable, so it's got lossless connection to the PC, so it's a great PC VR headset. It's also a standalone headset, and now with it shares the library and the user account with the Pico 4. So the Neo 3, the Pico Neo 3 Link is up to over 240 pieces of content that are interactive, plus over 600 movies. So we think we've got a great product in this category, but there are obviously other nominees, and I want to give them space. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about any of the other hardware companies, or I can give you a very biased perspective.
You can talk about Pico all day.
In this area, of course. But
yeah. So I mean, other hardware. There were 3 other standalone type headsets that were announced. So the Flow is one from HTC, and Extal from VR Engineers was another one, and then I'm totally blanking on one of the VR hardware standalone.
The Pimax Crystal, but I don't think it's on this one.
No, I don't think Pimax is on this one.
No.
I think it's, but anyway, there were also some other non-hardware standalone, like trackers and other types of dedicated VR equipment that was also nominated in this category. I'm horrible that I'm totally blanking on the. This is not a reflection of your hardware.
This is a good segue into the other types of hardware, I think. And,
Yeah.
earlier we were touching upon
right.
these other categories and just about specifically about haptics and about bringing this kind of like sense of tactility more to VR. So like, for example, there's the haptic gloves from Contact CI, the Maestro, which are currently they're just very high-end training device, which are but just lightweight gloves that you just wear, and it just immediately gives you this sense of this haptic feedback of what you're doing, gives you the sense of that you're touching the things that you are simulating that you are touching. So I think the first kind of use they did is for training U.S. Air Force pilots. So they basically have a fully simulated cockpit, and then you can feel the switches that you're flipping. You can feel when you pull on everything. I think this is a very interesting direction. It's one of the directions where I see like a lot of innovation in the coming years. Just taking this like forward, like solving this, let's say, issue in VR of weightlessness and lack of touch that you see currently.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we've mentioned it before, but we had Emerge Wave 1, and I think that it's a very innovative, very different approach what we're doing to enable people to feel something in these virtual environments. They're using mid-air and this airflow so that you kind of feel things, but without these body intense components that we have been seeing so far. Like the bodysuits, the trackers, and I think that different solutions, a different approach. I think of course we will have to test it out and see how it goes, but it does look very interesting and promising.
And I remembered who I forgot. I really have to apologize because they make amazing hardware. In many ways, they don't overlap at all with Pico in terms of, but Varjo and the Aero.
How do we
Because it's just, it's the cutting edge. I mean, they are the setting the benchmark for obviously image quality with that product. I apologize deeply. Sorry.
We just never get to use your headset because it's so amazing. So that's why. And we've got a couple of more minutes.
And that's the Varjo Aero is just a good example of it's kind of the headset-wise, just kind of pushing things forward, just like higher grade quality that you're just only gonna keep.
No, we need innovation in
right.
haptics.
Yeah.
We need innovation in both like really basic trackers, but also really serious like ultrasonic sensing systems. We have to have devices that span like $10,000 enterprise use cases. And so like the good news is like a company like Pico is trying to work at the mainstream accessible part of the market, but then you can look at what a lot of other hardware both the HMDs, but also people trying to build these accessories or build out complete solutions that work with enterprise. It's like you will see something that starts off at a $5,000 price point. In 2-3 years, it will be down to the $400, $500 price point that we need to get to for VR to be a mass adoption, XR, I should say, a mass adoption technology. So like the two parts of the industry is obviously the enterprise and the premium part of the market influences and gives you a picture into the future of what will eventually come to the mainstream mass adoption market.
Yeah, it's also been interesting, I mean, to just a quick mention on Meta's Quest Pro. I think that, yeah, we shouldn't like leave it out. I mean, not part of the conversation particularly here, but it's been a major thing in the industry. There's been a lot of talk about it as well. And I think it marks an interesting point on how devices are trying to position themselves. Again, I think that regardless of the price tag, and I think we are, again, on the wrong side because people are expecting more affordable devices, and I think that is the driver for adoption as well. But again, battery life, you know, still not doing a great job in that sense. And I think that, yeah, so we kind of have to balance all of these things when we're talking about technology and keep putting, you know, consumers first. Yeah, basically.
For sure, and I think it's really interesting if we look at the hardware, what a breadth of hardware it is, right? We've got headsets, we've got haptics, and we've got kind of more enterprise, we've got the more commercial sort of as well. So that's really interesting to see so many different types, because before everybody was just trying to make games and headsets.
Well, that's what makes this the award show that we're participating in, which is going to be happening in a couple hours or a couple minutes. So exciting is like the AIXR Association is a broad tent, and it is for, we've been talking about enterprise, we've been talking about social good, we've been talking about education, but we're about to spend a lot of time talking about games. Like,
yeah,
you know, like
we are.
So it's incredible that one organization can be representing all the different facets of VR, and we also sitting in this room represent like the consumer piece and the business piece and everything in between. So it's cool.
And I think this breadth is also...
They're wrapping me up right now, so I'm just
we just got to the good part.
But we've got some good stuff coming up. Wait, they're going to give you one more minute, so jump into it.
Okay.
Well, I was about to say that just this breadth gives you kind of like the position that the industry is in. Just it's a very exciting, just kind of like, you know, carte blanche future kind of thing where just the exploration is going all over the place, and there's just so many points of innovation possible with the hardware. Like, where can it go? What kind of things can we do? It's just there's like all these companies with all these products are just really prodding it. Okay, what direction can we take it? What is possible here? And that's just very, very exciting, because we're still in that point where it's just kind of like a blue sky kind of possibilities out there.
Well, we need to give you guys the best tools to make the content that makes this technology something that a person can use every day. And sometimes it'll be for gaming, but a lot of times it'll be for socializing or doing live events or fitness. We talked about exercise a little bit too.
Training, like education.
Training. You know, you're going to get one because your doctor's going to say, look, I need you to rehabilitate your knee, or your teacher's going to say, look, this is a requirement now to do education. And then, but you'll also have, you also know that you'll be able to use it for gaming or for meeting up with your friends. Like, yeah, it's a great moment to be in the category. For some of us who've been in the category for like a decade, it's really, the light is at the end of the tunnel, in my opinion at least. So
I feel the same way. Alrighty, so on that subject and getting more into some new up and coming, we have seen a lot of new players coming into the VR space in the last couple of years. So what do you think about the VR Game of the Year Award finalists?
So it's my turn now to be.
Yes, you are the you get to talk.
We all look at Vertigo.
Yeah. Well, it's my turn to be slightly less objective, but of course we have After the Fall nominated.
Great game. We just did a Black Friday bundle. It's
So
Fantastic
fun.
IP.
And it's on all devices basically, as much as we can get out there. I can tell you it's quite a technical challenge and achievement, but it's been done, and it launched. We're nearing the 1-year anniversary, actually, of the launch of After the Fall. But in that entire year, like, the team has been just hard at work. It's just nonstop like content. We've done two big harvest maps. We did an additional game mode with harvest, with horde mode, with 3 additional maps as well, 4 new weapons, a new difficulty, mutators, and chipsets that just change how you can play the game. And of course, there's also the LBE version that I believe you tried recently.
I did, yeah. So fun.
That recently came out. So I mean, I might be a slight bit biased here, but I think it's kind of it's a great thing. It's kind of to your point about it's VR just being a social space. That was part of the goal with After the Fall as well. Just make it a social experience. It's fully online, co-op, PvP as well, with up to 32 players on the same scene, and just really pushing that hard, just doing with one of the first games to fully push total like cross-platform play between everyone, and just getting it on as many platforms as possible. So you're like on your high-end PC VR, but your friend has a Pico, and of course you can play together, and it's exactly the same game. And just also kind of driving forward a lot of comfort and accessibility options, just to make it as accessible and as playable for everyone, because not everyone is as comfortable with VR. People have different tastes, or maybe some disabilities that they need to be kind of accustomed.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the next way we bring in more people is accessibility, and you guys definitely are on the leading edge of making it so that accessibility both in terms of bringing all the people together from all the different platforms, and also some of the options you were talking about. I'm a fan of seeing people get to return to work and see what they do the second time. So for me, Moss 2 and I Expect You to Die 2 are 2 of the nominees where I think, they, it's been like allowing creators to return to the world that they love and see what new ideas they bring, what new gameplay mechanics. So those are the 2 nominees. Of course, I hope After the Fall is the winner of this category. But
not just because I'm sitting here.
Not because you're just sitting here. But those are the 2 nominees. If I had to just call out from the rest of the list, I would say we're seeing like franchises get created. We're seeing people making the sequels to things, working on the 3rd version, playing around with the mechanics again, but with all the learnings that they had from the first time they made the game. So that's what gets me excited about this category.
Yeah, from my side, a particular fan of Star Wars. So yeah, I think that Last Call did a great job in this regard. I think that a great conclusion to this sequel that I believe many people love around the world. Again, Resident Evil as well. I mean, we cannot not mention them. Yeah. So like
talk about big IP, right?
Yeah, so. Yeah. Again, so again, I think that you guys know more about these games in this particular area. But yeah, I totally agree with your comments. So.
Is there any other anyone else in the category?
So many great games. Yeah, so many great games. So yeah, one that stands out for me, it's The Tale of Onogoro. I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's this Japanese action adventure kind of puzzle title.
I do know.
So it looks great. I mean, it's really like it's one of these crazy things where it just has this like beautiful anime art style, and you're just like in there, and like all of a sudden you're in an anime. It's like one of these experiences that you can have, and it's one of these games where basically you're playing together with an AI companion the entire time. But they've really pushed it towards kind of how VR, what VR can bring to the table in that regard. So basically, you interact with your AI companion character to just traverse and solve puzzles and everything. But the way that you do it is very kind of physical and really leaning into the VRness of it. So for example, you can just reply to them. You can nod your head or shake your head, yes or no, and they will just understand that, you know. And you hold hands for certain things. I think for healing and these sort of things, where it's just, you know, it's not just you know, press A to hold hands anymore. It's actually like reach out and hold hands. You know, it's these great mechanics that are really like empowered by the VR, and I think they've done a really great job with that game.
Do you guys have any? Do you have a game up?
I worked a little bit with the team behind Fingergun, and I can talk about them a little bit. So this game is really cool. They're kind of a hand tracking showcase game. So in the same way that Richie's Plank is like you jump out and you kind of get immersed and you see what VR is, the idea behind this is that you see everything that hand tracking can do right away. So if somebody wants to see everything there, but there's also a nice little game, some, you know, wave shooting. And the team behind it, we talked about this a little bit, was working on the cutting edge of innovation. You know, they were creating this before it existed, much like the Unplugged guys, and, you know, solving a lot of the problems behind how do you even do, you know, finger guns in VR. This doesn't really work as well. You need the tactile kind of thing, and just solving all of those. And so I think that game is a little bit plucky, but it's interesting in what it does, and I love the team behind it. And I love seeing teams, again, make games that are different, that are taking advantage of everything, you know, that the technology can do, and solving those problems that nobody's even really thought about. I'm also quite excited about Vale. Vale's on there. It's a very community-driven. I don't have any involvement, but it's super community-driven. Yeah, super community-driven game.
They did like a big esports tournament in Miami, actually.
Pretty recently.
Or Orlando or somewhere in Florida, I think.
Yeah, because it was right, the hurricane was happening.
It was like
and I was worried about all the creators going down. I was like, oh no.
Speaking of creators, and they're like, I'm flying to Florida right now. I'm thinking, I think there's a hurricane coming.
Yeah. But an excellent showing from them. They've been doing great stuff on Steam, and their community is just, they're all about it, which is, I love that. I'm all about community, so.
Yeah. A great thing in games as well, it's you have these unique, we've been touching upon these unique experiences, right? Like a finger gun just being something that's like, okay, you can only do that with hand tracking in VR kind of thing. But there's also just, well, you mentioned the Resident Evil 4, for example, but which is a port of a game, but then you bring it to VR and it becomes this whole different experience that can be appreciated in by a different audience. So this year we also had Cities VR, which is another great franchise. And
great
it's just
studio too.
A great studio, and it's just a great way to play. I love the idea that it's the city simulator, right? You're in this god view, like building it, but then it's VR. You can just like go down at the street level and kind of like you're in your city as well. And then the way you're building it, it's also kind of like very intuitive, sort of like you're just painting around with the controllers. It's just a completely different way. So it's this known experience, this known IP. But it kind of gets transformed by the context of okay, now it's VR and it's making the most use out of VR for its mechanics.
I'd love to talk to them about how they did it, because I wanted that game for 6 years and it took that long for it to come out. So it must have been very difficult to put it in VR, but they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I mean, let's mention from my side, from my list, that heads up to Wanderer. I think that it's really interesting. Again, I love history myself, and the idea that you can really travel across time, and it's just really a great opportunity. And I think that VR is perfect for that kind of use case. So like, you can really get the whole context, the whole experience. Like either you're like with, you know, on the space or with hippies and back on time, and like, yeah, it's just great.
Yeah, I think they
It's a great way of summarizing.
Yeah.
But no, I think I really love the way how they did the transition. So they really did something special there. I think where basically you have this watch thing, and then you put an object in there, and it just immediately there's this just transition, and you're just immediately somewhere else, and it's just something else to experience it. And like about what you were saying earlier about like, oh, how they did it or anything. It's also just technically And this is maybe I'm going too deep into like, oh, I'm a game developer. It's like, how did they do that? Because it's like near instantaneous. Like you just put it in there and just like, and in a flash you're like on the moon. And it's just an incredible feeling.
Yeah, we need more teleportation and yeah.
Give us your secrets. So we've got a couple more minutes. Did we get all of the finalists? Did we touch on all of our?
I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but
I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
I think Leland just wanted to talk more about After the Fall and how much he loves
yeah,
it.
it's a fantastic game, and obviously, I think we've talked about it. This has been intimidating and scaring me.
Yeah, they put this right next to us.
It's been hard to have some serious conversations about healthcare, and I look over your shoulder. And there's
you have problems with Juggernaut?
Yeah.
But really, all of the finalists this year are incredible. It's so awesome to see AAA moving into super indie, small teams, community-driven teams,
new
mechanics,
sequels like IPs.
Again,
on their story.
Making legacy, like people that are creating VR games that
you could almost say that it's like we're starting to see the breadth and depth of content that you have on flat gaming.
On flat gaming, yeah, we're getting there, possibly. So with that, we've got one more video and we will be right back.
The 6th International VR Awards Pre-Show, brought to you by Vertigo Games.
I've been asked what's the last 12 months have changed in the VR industry landscape, and my answer would be the word metaverse. Metaverse has been on every headlines, every conversation, and it really means that people and companies are really starting to understand the concept and to grasp what the VR can bring to the world. So I think that's our big momentum right now. The whole VR industry needs to go and show our project out there, and I think that's where the VR worlds are also used for.
Thank you so much to all of our panelists today. There are so many exciting projects and experiences out there, and I personally can't wait to try them all. I've tried most of them, but not all of them. At any moment now, we're going to switch to the ceremony stage, where we're going to join Pep Rosenfeld for an evening of industry and celebration. We're just about out of time now as we prepare to be ready for the 6th International VR Awards ceremony, live from Rotterdam. But thank you for joining us at the pre-show, brought to you by Vertigo Games.
Netherlands, and I'm here with Daniel, the CEO of, let me get the letters right, AIXR.
AIXR, yes.
AIXR, it's like that nerd cartoon, right, where the 4 letters?
It's the Academy of International Extended Reality.
Oh, there, so that it stands for something, it stands for something. Well, what a night, what a night. The audience is filing in to their seats, and the VIPs of VR are down there and ready. How are you feeling?
I'm very excited. So this has been 2 years since we've done the physical VR awards show. So it's very actually exciting to see so many faces in the crowd that I haven't seen in a very long time.
And as someone who lives in Amsterdam, I have to say it's interesting that your first year of real reality, you've chosen the city of Rotterdam. Not my favorite. It's a great city, it's a great city. Rotterdam's a great city.
Yeah, I mean, so, okay, definitely a challenge because we've got 2 years of no events, and then we're coming back and we're like, okay, let's run an event, let's do the awards back in person, let's bring over 300 people together for a nice celebration, and obviously everyone that's watching online. But we then decided to bring it to Rotterdam.
And why Rotterdam?
So, during this week in particular, we have Immersive Tech Week. So it's been really exciting for us to partner with Immersive Tech Week to bring the awards here live, because there's so many great people that are here. I mean, there's 2,000 people that come for the entire week. So it made sense for us to look at this collaboration from the Academy, look at this collaboration with VR Days and ITW to host an event that could be so much bigger than we could ever achieve by ourselves.
Well, it sounds great. Now you were telling me earlier that last year, for the virtual version of the awards, you did like you set up 5 worlds, and it was a VR extravaganza.
I honestly don't think that many people watching at home would have realized the amount of work that went into that. One of my biggest components when it comes to virtual reality in particular is why create an award show where people are just going to sit in an auditorium like they would in real life in virtual reality. There's just no point. So, part of it for us was about how could we work with the community. So we had 5 fantastic worlds that we built with community developers within AltSpace that allowed people to not just attend the show, but actually jump through worlds that explored the 5 years of the VR awards.
Well, I think that the big VR mistake would be trying to use VR to recreate something real instead of using VR to create something amazing.
Exactly that. Yeah, I mean, so one of the challenges is how do you then take something so exciting like the VR awards and bring it into virtual reality? Because you've got so many people who have high expectations of what virtual reality should actually be. And so you're catering to this audience.
And as we'll find out at the awards tonight, it always satisfies.
Oh, let's hope so.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. I mean, so you're working with developers where we have to bring in people with 3D assets. We have to bring in people who are artists, designers, developers. This show alone takes over 100 people to run it. The same applies in virtual reality still, and you wouldn't really ever think that.
And all right, let's talk about tonight. What goes into making tonight happen? You said earlier that you described the event as like a swan, where everybody sees the beautiful bird on top of the water.
You weren't supposed to tell them that.
No, that was a great metaphor. But no one sees the desperate flapping feet underneath the water.
For sure. I mean, so you were sitting at home. Hopefully, you get to see what the VR Awards is about. You get to see all of the fantastic finalists. But most people don't realize that running an award show, you're running it the entire year. Right, so you're not just, you have this one night where you bring everyone together, and it's like the climax, the night where you get to celebrate, you get to have that fun night. But the team are working around the clock the entire year to make this happen. Right? You have judging, you have all of the nominations, you have all of the processes that have to happen.
So when did the nominations actually happen? When does that happen? When did the judging begin?
Yeah, so I mean, so this is a mistake that many people make when watching the show. They see 2022, and then they think, oh, okay, so every game that's released in 2022 should be on the finalist.
I would just like it on the record, that is 100% what I assumed. I thought January 1st, 2022, bam, that's a starting date.
So this is the 6th International VR Awards, right? So our runtime has to run usually between March to March because we need enough time to...
So you've got your own sort of fiscal year.
Exactly.
But it's your judging year.
Exactly. So, so our nominations open usually around March and they close around July. So that gives a nice period of time for the right kind of projects to come in play.
So if you launch a game in November, you're screwed.
Exactly.
If you're launching this week, stop it. Wait till March.
No.
Screw Christmas sales, March.
But it gives you the ability to see such a great selection of content that it's not just all about what's the latest release. Because I found that in a lot of award shows, it's usually the ones that have just, they're the ones that are on the cusp of coming up, because obviously they've had more time, they've developed stuff. But this way we're looking at a snapshot of a particular period of time, and we're able to reward the developers for that.
So let me ask you this, because I think when we think of the VR awards, my instinct is, of course, content, but there's a lot of amazing hardware developments that happen this year too, is right?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, during the pre-show...
By the way, I don't know if they can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it on the live stream. The hubbub has really begun.
I mean, we need to cut to a shot of the show.
I'm sure they know what they're doing. They're cutting to a shot right now. I'm sure.
We're filling up now, so I'm sure we'll start any moment soon.
And these aren't the VIPs. These folks make noise. The VIPs came in all dainty. Oh, we've been drinking free champagne. These folks are drunk and they paid for it.
Yeah.
So they're getting their money.
I'm really looking forward to this, because any moment now we should be able to cut once this room fills up and we've got everyone in here. But we'll cut to this really amazing entertainment piece that we put together tonight with Andromeda Entertainment.
And it's not going to be virtual.
It's not virtual.
It's going to be real.
But it incorporates some elements of virtual reality.
No spoilers.
Okay, we
no
won't.
spoilers. I also want to let folks know we don't know when this is going to end, right? So it's when the room's full, someone's going to give us like a signal, and the signal might be coming over and saying like, you should stop now.
Yeah.
That's how we'll know
It's
it's
going to be a
over.
very abrupt ending, right?
No. It's going to be clever and classy and professional.
Okay. No, it's not going to be like the Oscars where they just turn up the music and push us out, right?
That would be convenient, actually. But so what are some of the real exciting developments? And because I interrupted you when you talking about hardware, but I'll take software as well.
I mean, so it's really difficult when it comes to hardware because the hardware just gets innovated at such a high pace. And everyone watching this will know, especially when you looked at the previous finalists, that there's been some amazing developments there. But the software is what makes it, right? That's why so many developers are thinking, and so many of the people in the room tonight are, they're the ones that enable the hardware to be created. And that's what's super important. I'm actually really excited by some people in the room tonight.
Just like for the record, that means you're not excited about many people in the room.
There's many people. No, that's fine.
That's a virtual child that's wandered in. The virtual child's wandered into the shot.
That's fine.
He wasn't even real.
No.
He wasn't real.
We actually used augmented reality.
I think he's going to come right back in. So the thing is, we're just kind of shooting something right now. I don't know.
One of the really exciting things is, for me,
so let us know in the chat if you can see these folks. Sorry, one of these exciting things.
No, exciting thing is that when you see 300 people come together in one place, you get that buzz, you get that feel that you don't get when you're on virtual reality, right? So we've tried to recreate elements of that in VR in previous years. But tonight we have people from Pico, we have people from Meta, we have people who are working with us to create the future of the metaverse or immersive technology.
And that's something that y'all say at the beginning of the awards is you can't predict the future, but you can damn well create it.
No, exactly that. Exactly that.
This reminds me, because one of the things I think that everybody's chatting about outside is blah blah metaverse this, metaverse that.
Yep.
But I think people, if you ask 6 people what the metaverse is, you get 6 answers that are vaguely related, but not quite the same, and none of them very specific.
Exactly.
So what can you tell us? What is the metaverse?
Do not ask me to define the metaverse.
Am I supposed to do that now?
No. Because the problem is it's changing, right?
Yeah.
And the very fabric of the awards, we've had to change ourselves as the Academy to be able to put this on. I mean, we get asked countless times, what is the future for AIXR, for the VR award?
Yeah.
We keep being asked, are we going to be looking at the metaverse? What does that look like? And I think it's a brutal reality that we will, but what we don't want to do is look at metaverse as a marketing buzzword. We want to study it, define it, and understand it. And at AIXR, and many of the people that are in the room tonight are some of our members of the Academy. We work directly with our members to be able to define those kind of things. So, I mean, I would hardly call myself a specialist, but the people in this room, they know their stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, they know their stuff.
At our theater, and I'm not trying to inject a plug, but at our theater, Boom Chicago in Amsterdam, we're doing a show about the metaverse.
I know, I heard about this.
And getting the actors to, there was a mix of real excitement about doing a show about the metaverse and abject confusion about exactly what it is that we're making fun of.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Do I get free tickets to this show?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Tomorrow, hopefully, after the after party at the awards.
You want to come tomorrow?
Yeah, perfect.
Well, we can sort you.
Sounds good to me.
So, but tomorrow's Friday. I was thinking it was because Saturday.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of this room might be a little bit hungover.
Yeah, I think you might be hungover yourself. So,
yes.
is it a big party night for you once the awards are over?
Yes, because we have an amazing party put on with Vertigo Games and Pico.
Yeah.
Industry party here at I wanted to say the Dulen, but you told me off for this. This is not Dutch, right?
Yeah, it's because de is the Dutch word for the. So Daniel keeps saying the Dulen. It's like saying, ATM machine. It's the same thing.
I'm so used to hosting our show in London, we don't have to deal with these Dutch words.
Although I think Shakespeare was famously put on his plays at the Globe.
The Globe?
Yeah.
That sounds
that's Old English version.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of something else to ask you about the awards. Yourself in VR, how often are you wearing the headsets in VR?
That's an interesting question because at AIXR, our team is fully remote. We embrace what the metaverse is supposed to be. Every single one of our staff owns a VR headset. That's a really important aspect to me. I said to our team, if you're going to teach people about VR, if you're going to celebrate VR projects, every one of you needs to own a headset.
Of course.
Everyone owns different kind of headsets, you know, from Quest through to Pico headsets through to different ones that are out there. But we do try to, I have to be careful.
I know. From headsets that our sponsors make to headsets that all our sponsors also make.
To headsets that aren't released yet.
To headsets that are unreleased
Which
yet.
is why I have to be very careful live of what headsets I talk about right now.
I see.
Yes. But yeah, we go into VR all the time. So we're not.
Do you have meetings in VR?
We do. Not all the time. I would love to be able to do it because, in my opinion, the software for seamless business interaction for the show does need to, you know, to get a bit closer.
I don't understand how I'm supposed to take notes when I'm in my VR meeting.
Wow, that's a very good question. But that's why, you know, you have Meta now with their new pass-through, especially on the pro headsets for business, where you can actually write and you can draw and you can use your PC. So there's the plan next time for you. I think you should do the show entirely in virtual reality. That should be a good plan for you.
The comedy show or tonight's award show?
Both.
I would have been happy. I mean, first of all, like, you know, Rotterdam's a trip. It's a schlep.
Yeah.
I was like virtual, you know, reality awards. For virtual reality awards, I got to drag my ass to Rotterdam.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you're not wearing a virtual suit, to be fair.
No. I'm wearing a virtual black tie, and by that I mean I'm not wearing a black tie. It is a black tie event, and everyone looks very spiffy.
Well, how often do you see tech people in a black tie suit?
Yeah, I see tech people a lot in one of those T-shirts with a tuxedo printed on it. That I see quite a bit.
Awesome.
At a formal, like like the Dungeon Master's leaving, and so everybody's really got to dress formally for this final bit of the campaign.
Yeah, but that's one of the actual things that we did with this, is we said to our team, I can see they're looking at us now, this room is pretty full, so we will be starting any moment now.
We'll be starting any minute now. But not this minute, apparently.
Not this minute.
Apparently not this minute.
One of the things that we said when we launched the VR Awards was we wanted to treat this like the Oscars of VR.
Yeah.
Right? We wanted to give people that experience that they deserve to have. So if we can do that with the awards here, then we're good. We're giving the countdown now.
I don't know what that was. That a countdown of 4?
That's 4.
So he gave us that. So I think he means 4 minutes.
It's either that or gang
4
sign.
minutes. Yeah. No, what? Yeah. West Side. And if you're from the West Side, I'm very sorry. Oh, so there's folks.
4 minutes to the awards. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and you're going to be welcoming everybody out.
Will I?
Yeah, you welcome. Well, the first is the act.
We have an amazing entertainment piece. Then we have our opening ceremony video tonight, which was put together by the Academy. Fun fact, all the production that you see here tonight, everything from camera work through to the VTs that you see on screen, is done in-house at the Academy.
That is a fun fact.
Yes.
I'm having fun right now just thinking about it.
Lots of fun.
So, and then what happens afterwards? Is there a big after party afterwards that you folks watching on the live stream won't be able to attend?
I mean, I'm sure they can open up a bottle of bubbly at home.
You can open up a bottle of bubbly right now. That's what I would do if I were you. And that goes wherever you are. If you're here in Europe, then it's definitely time to have a drink. And if you're in the States, I mean, like if you're in Chicago, it's probably what, like 2 p.m. on a Thursday. Have a drink.
I think it's more than okay to have a drink at this time.
This
is the VR Awards.
Yeah,
this is the premier award show for immersive technology for the entire year.
So if you're at home, I hope you're also wearing black tie, at least, you know, upstairs. Downstairs, obviously no pants, because, I mean, I'm not trying to be ridiculous.
Well,
upstairs, formal.
You know what was one of the things that we were told was before we did the show, we said to our partners at ITW, we said, this is a black tie event. And they're like, you're in the Netherlands. Dutch people do not like to wear suits. Is this true?
I mean, Dutch people wear suits. I go to a lot of black tie events where none of them are wearing black tie, which is why I didn't wear black tie tonight. I was like, I don't want to once again be the only one at a black tie event, and now I'm the asshole.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say that on?
Yeah. I mean, it's we've shown some 17+ trailers tonight.
We've shown some 17+ trailers. Have you ever been terrified in VR? You ever been just scared out of your
but
pants?
that's why I refuse to play horror games. So I really do apologize to Vertigo Games, but the zombies in that game, no, we can't do it.
I can't handle it either.
But you know, that's actually something interesting for everyone watching at home. Tonight, there will be a few interludes as well, where we have some trailers from some games companies that I'm sure you'll want to see because there's new footage that you probably haven't seen yet.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to see the trailers.
Exactly.
It's not commercials from the sponsor, it's quality content.
Quality content.
I can't wait.
That's what we're about here.
I definitely can't wait. Just gonna look over and see what we've got.
We've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the VR Award starts.
Wow. So
you know, I can't quite believe it because this has literally been 2 years of no physical things, and now we're literally 2 minutes away.
Right, and it's 2 years of nothing, and then another full year in the making.
Yeah.
So it's basically 3 years since you've enjoyed this feeling.
Yeah, I mean,
how does it feel?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But the thing is though, is that it's the interesting thing is we have the awards, and then we do need to go straight on to prepping the next year. It doesn't actually just end here. Obviously, we have 15 more days of the year, usually of workable hours.
You told us the nominations don't start till March. You got 3 months to
There's a lot to prepare. 1 minute. Oh, we're wrapping up.
We're wrapping it up?
1 minute.
1 minute. We've got 1 minute to go.
One thing I'd like to say, anyone
please.
watching at home, we are giving away 2 Pico VR headsets tonight with a copy of After the Fall. So you should have seen that earlier in the pre-show, but if you haven't seen it, and you're watching and tuning in just now, and you want to win a brand new VR headset, then you guys need to tweet to hashtag VRA22, and most importantly, hashtag VRAWin. If you tweet to that with your favorite game, your favorite project throughout the year, then you have the chance tonight to be entered in to win a brand new Pico headset.
And it's hashtag VRAWin and hashtag VRA22, not 2022. We had some confusion earlier.
22.
It's not that, it's just 22. It's just 2 2s.
Yeah. All right, so I think any moment now.
Any moment now, any moment now. There's a tangible sense of action and excitement, a buzz in the air. And so it is a pleasure. Daniel, thanks for joining me up here in the balcony. I think we've got to hustle downstairs.
Okay, well,
to you folks, thanks for sitting with us, and it is time for the 2022 VR Awards.
Are we up?
I don't know.
In 1990, Terence McKenna said, "I think that the difference between computers and drugs is going to migrate towards the vanishing point."
Please full screen the video, turn up the volume, and be advised of strobing effects.
That the computers of the future will be drugs, and the drugs of the future will be computers. In 2020, virtual reality will be my portal to lucid dream worlds fantastic and bizarre. I will occupy these stages and play act their parts, and I will know myself for my role. Above those high-fidelity fantasies, I will play as the player, meanings and selves shifting in my being like the uncertain arms of a clock in a dream. Who am I? I am playing the role of meaning maker, harvesting belief from truth. I'm playing the role of transcriber, taking dictation from a trailer for a video game. I write as I'm commanded. Before the world was virtual, the world was real. Before the world was real, the world was my reflection. Every role is a dream, and I dream of being the dreamer who knows the dreamer lie.
Activating single-player experience. Meditation. captivating multiplayer experience, Interstellar Acrobats.
Trying to predict the future is a discouraging and hazardous occupation. On the other hand, if by some miracle a prophet could describe the future exactly as it was going to take place, his predictions would sound so absurd, so far-fetched, that everybody would laugh him to scorn.
Unlike human housemaids, Mabel never tires, never grumbles, never takes a day off.
This hand can not only grip and turn a screwdriver, its fingers sense when they touch and stop closing. These feet are climbing a slight incline of steps, but could well be a temporary steep step.
Imagine a world where every word ever written, every picture ever painted, and every film ever shot could be viewed instantly in your home.
This is the compact disc. It really is compact, smaller than an existing single, and this is how it fits into the player.
Eventually, it will be connected to a central computer library by optical fibre, giving you access to thousands of different tracks.
The UK market for video games could reach £500 or £600 million this year.
These handsets can send not only text, but take and send pictures as well.
I created the Matrix.
So, what actually is the Metaverse?
The Metaverse.
The Metaverse.
The Metaverse. The Metaverse.
The Metaverse.
Metaverse. The Metaverse.
To the 6th International VR Awards. Please welcome the Chief Executive of AIXR, Daniel Colliani.
Wow, hello everyone. It is my absolute pleasure to be able to welcome you all back live in person at a physical event here in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. So, for the past 2 years, we've celebrated online with our community, but you can't believe how happy I am to see so many familiar faces within this crowd. Since 2017, we've seen a lot of changes in our industry, both big and small. Those of you who remember some of the earlier days of VR, which, to be fair, isn't too early, but from 2017, I guess it was when the VR Awards first launched. Since then, we've come an incredibly long way, and today we're at the 6th International VR Awards, which if you were to ask me about that 6 years ago, I would never have been able to imagine where we are today. Today, it seems like the excitement from this industry only continues to grow. Looking around the room, I'd like to welcome all of the Academy members from AIXR who help support AIXR to be able to run events like this year-round. So I'd like to give a big round of applause to all AIXR members in the room. In addition to this, I would like to also welcome our esteemed guests who helped to put on this show as well, including Accenture, Sensorium, Vertigo Games. There we go. There's more to say. Pico. Andromeda Entertainment. And also with Boom Chicago. All of whom, without their support, and in collaboration with Immersive Tech Week, tonight would not be as great of a celebration as we hope it will be for you tonight. In a rather backwards way, AIXR was founded through the VR Awards. It's actually the VR Awards that existed first before the Academy. And people always and often ask me, why did we set up AIXR? And it was because of the awards that AIXR was born. It was because of the fact that when we sat down in a room with so many pioneers, so many people who are in this room today who do fantastic things within this industry, we said we need to do more to be able to help to recognize them, to be able to help them to grow, to help them to scale. And the great thing about it is not only have we been able to do that and achieve that and are constantly striving towards that, we have all been able to make some really good friends along the way. This industry truly is a collaborative one and one that I'm really, really proud to be a part of. This has led to tonight, which is a watershed moment for the Academy where we start to embark on our expanded journey that focuses on the full potential of immersive, Web3, and real-time technology. And in addition to tonight's celebration, we are also really excited to be able to release our new platform. We're an industry-defining platform, which we hope in the coming months will make it easier for both businesses and individuals to grow their skill set within the industry, to find more partnerships, collaborations, and deals, and also do their very best work. Thank you. For the VR Awards and AIXR, we are able to continue to support the growth of this industry, one that I'm very proud to be able to do, and to also celebrate the work of the people in this room today. So, thank you for joining us on this amazing experience, and please have a wonderful night here at the 6th International VR Awards. To start us off, I would like to introduce our host for the evening from Boom Chicago Comedy Theatre. Please welcome Pep Rosenfeld.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks very much. Keep it going for Daniel, folks. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Pep Rosenfeld from the Boom Chicago Comedy Theatre in Amsterdam. And you've heard it before tonight, but I'm going to say it again. Welcome to the 6th edition of the VR Awards. How's everybody doing? That was great. It's fantastic to have everybody here in person. Like you heard, the last 2 editions were virtual because of COVID, but now look at us. We're together, we're dressed all fancy, we're all vaccinated, double vaxxed, boosted, double boosted. Who's tri-boosted? Anybody tri-boosted? There you go. I'll tell you what, we got a place down in Amsterdam called The Rye. That's where they give the shots. I'm there every week. I'm like, do it again, do it again. I put my VR helmet on. I'm like, I won't even know it's coming. So I said I'm from Boom Chicago, and just let me know with your cheers and applause, who has ever seen someone from Boom Chicago before, just so I know. Be honest, be honest. All right, that's a couple people. Now go crazy if you're seeing someone from Boom Chicago for the first time in your life. All right, that's fair. That's slightly disappointing, but fair. Just so you know, until like 8 days ago, I didn't know there were VR awards, so we're even, okay? So, you know, we're a theater. We're down in Amsterdam. We've been there nearly 30 years. We set it up when a buddy of mine and I, we fell in love with Amsterdam, decided to move there, and not for the reason you think. So just knock it off. No, it was for the drugs. But it is a pleasure to be here. Tonight, we are honoring the achievements in the world of virtual reality. Virtual reality, of course, a metaverse that includes platforms like Decentraland, Illuvium, Sandbox, Axie Infinity, Blocktopia, and Star Atlas, just to name a few. Or, as Mark Zuckerberg would say, a metaverse that includes just our metaverse and no others. Yeah, there you go. Is that Mark himself there? Or did he just send his avatar? I think Zuck's avatar is the only avatar in the world that actually looks more lifelike than the original. Right? Yeah? You gotta say, Zuck seems to live right squack dab in the middle of the uncanny valley. You know what I mean? So look, I am a VR user, all right? My kids are into VR. I like using VR, and I gotta say, I'm excited to be here to see the best of VR. So many amazing films, cool games, interactive experiences, and of course, the amazing hardware that makes it all possible. As a layman, though, I also want to give a special shout out to that special, one-of-a-kind VR nausea. You know what I mean? You are nauseated in VR in a way you just can't be in the real world. It's fantastic. So like I mentioned before that the last two editions of these awards were in VR, right? Because of COVID, they were in VR. Last year, they even built 5 different worlds, and people got the headsets on, and they're in virtual reality exploring. It wasn't just like sitting in virtual tuxedos. No. It was like places to explore and see. And I gotta say, the fact that you did virtual reality awards for 2 years, and after 2 years you were like, screw that, let's meet in person. It's not what I'd call a vote of confidence for your industry, you know what I mean? It's weird. And if we were all sitting at home with headsets on and pants off, we wouldn't have to play the game that you guys were all playing at dinner, which is the game you play at every Dutch black tie event, which is who owns their tux and who's renting. You know, you're looking around, and especially in Rotterdam, because Rotterdam is a great city. Wouldn't call it a black tie city, though, you know? So, a couple Amsterdammers in the house, that's great. And of course, I'm joking about people renting their tuxedos. I know nobody was in any position to rent a tuxedo after all your crypto crashed last month, so. Boy, you can tell from the laughs versus O's who is where on the Ponzi scheme pyramid, you know? I'll tell you what, though, if we did, it's great to be in person, because if we did do it virtually again, there's a chance it wouldn't be in Cool Worlds, and we'd just be like on Zoom or Teams or Cisco WebEx. And then we'd have all those virtual problems to deal with. I mean, not headset problems, but because that's nausea. But I mean like video meeting problems. You know what I mean? Like we all this week, you were in a video meeting and you heard either a dog or a baby or a couple making a baby. It's always the same. It's always the same. One last thing I wanted to mention, and it's not quite a VR thing, but I do think it's worth pointing out that I made fun of Zuckerberg, but you can't not spit in the face of Elon Musk, right? The guy's crazy. But yesterday, how about that announcement, right? That was pretty exciting. The Neuralink announcement, did folks follow that? Yeah, right, there's some Neuralink excitement right there. I hope you own stock. Elon says that human trials for Neuralink, connecting the brain to the computer, that's not scary, are less than 6 months away. And I think that's exciting because that means that thanks to Elon, in 2023, we can use the N-word on Twitter just with our minds. It's pretty powerful stuff. Too soon? Too soon? Were you just on Twitter and offended? Okay, that makes sense. Hey, last thing I want to say is I do want to point out that we're a special group of people. We all dressed up. We look terrific. We're all kind of VR nerds, though, right? You know what I mean? And that's fine. It's great to be nerds. I just want to remind us that there's a lot of normies out there that just don't get it. You know, for them, virtual reality is just confusing. It's just one of those words like quantum computing that you hear in Marvel movies where it sounds cool, but you don't quite understand. And I just want to say that for those people, the best thing they can say about virtual reality is at least that's not what Donald Trump chooses to call the media. You know what I mean? It could have been. He could have easily been like, oh no, this CNN, it's virtual reality. And the breasts of the porn stars I have sex with, augmented reality. So look, folks, are you guys ready to start this? All right. I'm gonna march over here to the podium because we are ready to go. We are ready to dive in. We got some great categories, and the first category tonight is VR Healthcare of the Year. And I want to say that's very important for the Dutch because in the real world, they call hospitals, the Dutch word for hospital is ziekenhuis, which literally translates to sick house. It's the worst name you could give a hospital, right? The right name would be gezondhuis, which means healthy house. But gezondhuis literally means the place you go to get sick, and they already have a Dutch word for that, basisschool. So we have awards tonight for the VR of Healthcare of the Year, and let us hear the finalists.
VR Healthcare of the Year. The Forest of Resilience. Stay Safe, My Training VR. Vertigo in VR. Ghost VR SE2 Surgical Simulation for Spinology's Optimesh MIS Spinal Implant. OSO VR Virtual Reality Training for Surgical Teams. Virtual reality training for doctors doing orthopedic surgery in low-resource countries. Rendeavor Fit. Emergency Medicine Services VR Simulation Training. VR Medical.
Nice list. And if you're just joining us late, we've spent the last 32 minutes listening to the longest list of finalists in history. But there can be but one winner, and the winner is, for VR Healthcare of the Year, Virtual Reality Training for Surgical Teams by OSO VR. Come on down. Come on. Come on, OSO VR. All right, I'm going to give you your award, and I'm going to give you a microphone to say a few words. I'm going to step away so that the photographer can catch you looking charming. So strike a pose.
Okay,
no, don't look at me. Look at him.
Words on here.
All right, but keep the phone away for the photo. You know, just like.
Gotta do that.
There you go. Look at that. That's an action photo right there.
Okay.
All right, now the phone comes out.
Yeah. So hi, I'm John Curtis, a developer on the platform team at OSO VR. So I'm not used to actually speaking at these kind of things. We're so honored to have received this award, and I'd like to congratulate all the other nominees in healthcare. We're all using VR to make a genuine difference to patient outcomes. If you don't know OSO VR, we're a surgical training and assessment platform. We have an amazing team all working hard to democratize access to surgical education around the world. Thanks for recognizing our mission.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Congratulations. I just want to let you know that if you're a winner, come on up, and then you'll exit on the stage. It'll feel surprising, and then backstage you'll be surprised because it's like dark and creepy back there. And then some guy takes your wallet and doesn't give it back. It's really weird. But congratulations in advance. The next category tonight is VR Education and Training of the Year. Education, of course, is one of the most important categories in VR. Because it's important for the story VR tells the rest of the world. The rest of the world is like, oh, it's just porn and games. And then you're like, no, it's education and porn and games. So with that said, let us take a look at the finalists.
VR Education and Training of the Year. Avantis World. BEE Virtual Building Element Environment. Vector Meetup. Forklift VR Training Simulator. Immerse, the leading education metaverse platform. Ludas Global to industry and beyond. St. James's Place Wealth Management Immersive Roleplay. BRP Rotax VR Safety Training. The Kiwi Rail Infrastructure Programme. Ladder Safety VR. Refense Advanced Tactical Training Simulator. Rezel Index 2.0.
Yeah, absolutely. And you seem to have the instinct during the finalists to sometimes applaud, but you're being very tepid about it. You go crazy. This is your chance to applaud yourself. So, having said that, the winner in the category of VR Education and Training of the Year, the winner is, this is exciting, the winner is the leading education metaverse platform by Immerse. And welcome to the stage. There he is. There he is. All right, there is that, and there's that, and there's the man, and for a moment we'll humor him into thinking that he doesn't have a better camera than we all have in our pockets.
Quit stealing the show, man. You're too good.
No, but thanks. Oh, that's very
Hello,
sweet.
everyone. My name is Alex Milland. I go by AIXR, and it is actually my honor today to accept this award on behalf of Immerse. They can't be here, so I actually just moments ago got a message, and they said, "Hey, if you're going to be there,
you want to hold the trophy for a
sure,
sec?
thank you."
There go.
They said, "Hey, if you're going to be there, can you please accept this award for us?" So, of course, I said yes, and I'd like to share a word from Christian Rowe from Immerse. He says, "Immerse is grateful to be building a redemptive and meaningful use case for social VR technology in the metaverse. Thank you to all the judges and the VR Awards team for this incredible recognition. The best days are still ahead of us. Thank you on behalf of Immerse. Thank you very much, everyone."
Congratulations. There's the trophy back. There you go. Fantastic. Thank you, Cloud Head Games. And again, education, pistol whip. It's just, you can't have one without the other, right? All right, the next category is VR Enterprise of the Year, which I know is very exciting to you. For me, I was disappointed to learn this was not the best simulation of the USS Enterprise. And that's 100% true. I was like, I can't believe, is it old generation? Is it next? Who's it going to be? And then it's some business thing. Anyway, here we go with your finalists.
VR Enterprise Solution of the Year. Orchestra One, Supply Chain Control Tower of the Future in the Metaverse. Project Republic, the community for sustainability. Haptic Integration, US Air Force Lightweight VR Training Simulator. Motar Member Operations Training Analysis Reports. Immerse Marketplace. Immersion. VR Induction Suite. Immersive Design Check. SpinView's Vision OS for global media and entertainment. SpinView's Vision OS for transport for London. Metaverse Car Showroom.
Some fantastic enterprise solutions, but there can be only one enterprise solution of the year, and this year's is Immersive Design Check by Seat SA. Come on up. Here they come. Keep the applause going. Absolutely. All right, I'll give the trophy to the gentleman and the microphone to the lady.
I have the talk. So first of all, I would like to thank to the dozens of people who have been working in this project, because for us we are just the face, but behind here is a lot of people working hard, and also to the company because they give us the chance to develop this tool, and for sure all the users that make results trustable from this tool, and for sure cutting the timing of the developing of the car and the prices. And so thanks also for the VR award to give us the chance to get the recognition for the work of the team and so on. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
There you go. Well done. I just want it clear, in a community that can sometimes be accused of being sexist, I really tried. I really tried. I just want that clear. But that dude wouldn't shut up, am I right? Okay. Our next award, the category is the VR Social Impact Award. There you go. For any parents watching on the live stream, I assume it's positive social impact, just so we're clear about that. And let's take a look at our finalists.
VR Social Impact Award. Microsoft Pride. Pride has no borders. Museum of Plastics 2121. LGBTQ+ VR Museum. Banga Social Impact in Virtual Reality. The Future of Energy. Inspiring Hope. Seeing the Problem. VR for Good, transforming end-of-life and palliative care with VR. The Anticipation of Rain. Nobody's Listening. VR to tackle discrimination and inequality in mental health care.
And I can joke about positive social impact, but some fantastic finalists there doing some fantastic work and making a huge difference. The award for social impact of the year goes to Nobody's Listening by Upstream, Yazda, and Surround Vision. And come on up. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And there you go.
Thank you very much. Good evening. This was very ill-prepared. I wasn't expecting to win this. I've watched enough MTV, so I'll keep this very brief. Thank you very much to Mary Matheson, the director of the VR, who did a phenomenal job on this. The incredible team of Surround Vision. And also, I'd like to thank Dijon Daji, one of my colleagues, who've been showing it to schools, universities, politicians, and others. And finally, I'd just like to thank Yazda, the Yazidi organization, who have been supporting us all the way through. They are a Yazidi organization who are victims of the genocide, and they work very closely with the Yazidi Survivor Network, a group of women who are subjected to atrocities by ISIS, and they've been every part of the way of this. So thank you very much to you guys and to everyone. Thank you.
Congratulations.
اسمي حلا سفيل وأنا عضوة في شبكة الناجيات الأيزيديات. يشرفنا الفوز بجائزة الواقع الافتراضي للتأثير الاجتماعي. لقد رأينا قوة تأثير الواقع الافتراضي في زيادة الوعي حول الإبادة الجماعية وأيضا منع الإبادة الجماعية في المستقبل من خلال تغيرت التصورات العراقية لمجتمعنا. الواقع الافتراضي لا أحد يستمع، يمنحنا ومجتمعنا صوتا ويساعدنا على مواجهة التطرف في العراق وفي خارجه. شكرا لأبستريم وسراوند فيجن.
And the winner is Audio Trip.
Big thanks to Andromeda Entertainment. Of course, please, when you're making your videos, don't put "and the winner is" in the video. It freaks everybody out. I was, what? The next category is Rising VR Company of the Year. I have to apologize. I couldn't really think of a good joke. I was like, is it a Dark Knight Rising? No. It's like making bread, it rises? No. Oh, a rye bread sings? Awful. So I'm sorry. We're just going to go right straight to the finalists.
Rising VR Company of the Year. Another Way. Bourne Studios. Genius X. Mayland Labs. VR Future.
And the winner is, in the category of Rising VR Company of the Year, Another Way. Another Way. However you want to rise. You can rise there, you can rise there, rise however you want. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Don't forget your photo moment. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's how he rises, my man. That's how you do it.
I'm Tam2, Community Manager for Vertigo Games and Another Way Unplugged. On behalf of Another Way, I'm very proud of what the team has accomplished for VR and what they do. We're very proud at the publishing team and how they pushed Unplugged as a title with what you can do in VR with hand tracking, and even beyond that, the team at Another Way, Ricardo, they're constantly trying to push what they can do in VR with the games, and I just can't say anything else, but we're so proud of them, and we're happy to publish them for what they do. So thank you for voting on Unplugged, and I'm gonna make sure this gets to Ricardo and his team. Thanks.
Nice. Congratulations.
Now look, the next category is Innovative VR Company of the Year, which is weird. In my mind, again, I'm a layman, right? I put the headset on, I go, oh my God, I'm in a different place. It's all so innovative, right? It's like, so this is like the super double extra, like Kryptonian levels of innovation is what this award is about. I cannot wait to lay my eyes on the finalists.
Innovative VR Company of the Year. Andromeda Entertainment. ARU VR Limited. Emerge. Fundamental VR. Future House Studios. Immerse. Magos. NXRT. N-Dreams. Alchemy Labs. Rezel. Sensorium. The Edge VR.
And in the category of Innovative VR Company of the Year, the winner is Immerse.
Hello again. I would once again like to represent Immerse here on the stage and accept this award for them. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Thank you to Contact CI, the company that I work for bringing me out tonight. And thank you to my partner, Skiva, Between Realities, also a reason that I'm here tonight. Immerse is doing great things, as you can tell, and it is a true honor to accept this award on their behalf. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Hell yeah.
Shoot to kill!
Thank you, of course, to Vertigo Games. We were debating showing that video before dinner and kind of said, maybe not, maybe not. The next category is location-based entertainment of the year. And that entertainment is great because if it was just location-based, it sounds just a little bit creepy, But location-based entertainment sounds fantastic. Let us take a look at the finalists.
VR location-based entertainment of the year. Ascenders. Eternal Notre Dame. The Lost Lab. The Infinite. Gnosis. Red Bull The Edge Matterhorn VR. The Ecosystem Exploration Craft and Observatory Voyager. Battery-powered VR bumper cars. Monster Hunter World Iceborne XR Walk. Dead Mansion. Invasion. Uncontained hyper-immersive VR.
I'm sorry, I don't know who y'all are, but that looks like the coolest thing you could do with your life is sit in there. That looks phenomenal. Okay, location-based VR entertainment of the year is the category. There can be but one, and the winner is Eternal Notre Dame by Emissive Orange.
Thank you very much. I'm Fabian Baratti. I'm the co-founder of Emissive, and along with Orange, who produced the experience, I want to thank you all very much. And we are honored to be among those beautiful projects. And we're especially thankful because this is our first immersive expedition, this kind of new experience. So again, thank you very much.
Congratulations. There you go. And I think every child who first gets their hands on a VR set thinks to themselves, now I can go anywhere I want and I can be part of any marketing campaign I can dream of. and so I'm psyched that this next category is VR Marketing Campaign of the Year. Let's take a look at the finalists, shall we?
VR Marketing Campaign of the Year. Arxen 85 Digital Twin. Milwaukee Hub. Project Gathering. XQ Avatar for Porsche. The Wonder of You.
And in the category of VR Marketing Campaign of the Year, the winner is XQ Avatar for Porsche by Necronauta XR Technologies. Here he comes. Not quite the speed of a Porsche, but that's fine. Huge round of applause when he hits the stage. No, not till he hits the stage. Dead silence, and when he hits the stage, go crazy. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. You're killing me. And, no, they're waiting for you. You come on stage. Go crazy! Congratulations.
Oh, wow, that's very unexpected, to be very honest. Yeah, I want to thank definitely everybody here, but for a reason, because I think we are in the same bubble, and it's been crazy 2 years for everybody. We couldn't do any demos, right? At least to most of us. So I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of my team and well, somehow me. I think this VR award should be about the consistency of the industry and we kind of show the world that we are here to stay, and that's not kind of a marketing gimmick or whatever the fuck they call us, you know. So thank you guys, and let's rock this bubble together for the next couple of decades, right? All right, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic.
Vale. Early access available now on Steam.
Every one of the films, you kind of want to be like, oh, I can't believe we're showing videos from the sponsors, and then they're all awesome. You know what I mean? Every one, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Where do I do it? How do I do it? Speaking of awesome things to do, our next category is VR Film of the Year, and I think it's one of those things that people don't think of enough with VR. It's always like the games and but just being surrounded by the films. It's a special experience, and the finalists are what we're going to see first. I almost just blew the whole thing. Let's take. And this is the first time I know the winner before I see the finalists. I don't know why I don't want to say. Just finalists, do it.
VR Film of the Year. David Attenborough's First Life. Kingdom of Plants with David Attenborough. Missing Pictures. Namu. Experience Yosemite. Diagnosia. The Choice. Lustration. Surviving 9/11. Samsara.
And the winner is, and I stress, I already know, the winner of VR Film of the Year is Namu by Baobab Studios. And I'm sorry, the winners can't be here right now. I was getting everybody all excited, but we do have a video from the winners. Let's take a look at that.
This is incredible honor. We just went through some tough times together in humanity. It was really hard, and Namu is a little warm message to all of us that it's okay, that we are all okay together in the name of life. I'm deeply thankful, of course, to Baobab and everyone in the team who poured their love and heart to this humble film, and especially a huge personal thank you to my grandfather, who gave a whole inspiration to this film, who must be smiling down from heaven. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to Eric O, who directed this entire short for us and also brought it to us. Thank you to Baobab's co-founders, Eric Darnell and Larry Cutler, and the Namu crew of 8, who painstakingly hand-painted every frame of Namu. Thank you to our partners also at Oculus, Pollen, and HBO Max, and to all of our advisors. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just want to clear, that wasn't pre-recorded. We just quickly called them up. We called them up super quick. It's a surprise for them, too. The next category is the VR Experience of the Year, and I have to say, just VR, virtual reality, the reality is always virtual, the experiences are always real, so I'm very excited to take a look at the finalists in this category.
VR Experience of the Year. Virtuoso. Les Balles de Paris de Blanca-Lee. Wamda Journey to the Future. Myriad, where we connect. Post Malone's 12-carat toothache, a VR experience. On the morning you wake to the end of the world. Lost Recipes. Out of this world experiences. The Meta Movie presents Alien Rescue. VR Vision Board.
And the winner in the category of VR Experience of the Year is the Meta Movie presents Alien Rescue by the Meta Movie. Congratulations. Here you go. Congratulations. Slowly followed by someone with difficult to walk in shoes, no doubt.
Yes.
Thank you. This was totally unexpected. I want to thank the Academy and the VR Awards, and we are a very scrappy crew. We are completely self-funded. We are as indie as you can get. So if a group of about 20 VR-loving people from all over the world can work together on a project over a period of 2.5 years with only the goal of just doing the best that we can, and we can actually win an award like this, it's pretty inspiring. So if there's any indies out there, you could do it. I want to thank all of my Meta Movie crew who are all up in the audience right now. You guys are all my heroes. We could never have done this without the incredible platform of Neos VR that made this project possible, so I want to give a big shout out to Neos. I want to give a special shout out to my wife, Jennifer, who has always been there for me, and I just want to say thank you to everybody. I absolutely cannot believe you're winning this award. Thank you.
Would you like to say something? Would you like to say something?
So I play the lead character in Alien Rescue. I just want to thank everybody in the Academy and everybody that's come through the show and taught us so much about interaction and immersive theater, immersive entertainment in VR. We are learning and growing every day, and this is such a boost. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. They are great. Thank you, Pico. You know the old, if a tree falls in the woods but no one's there to hear it, did it really fall? If someone puts on their VR headset but no content was created, did they really? Nah, sorry, it worked backstage, I swear to you. Anyway, this is the award for Content Creator of the Year, VR Content Creator of the Year, and I'll work on my metaphor as we take a look at the finalists.
VR Content Creator of the Year. Between realities. Kaz and Cherry. Gamertag VR. Habby 147. Nathy. Kent By. Karen X Cheng. Nacy. Fia. Thrill Seeker.
And the VR Content Creator of the Year is Hobby 147. Now, Hobby 147 also isn't with us tonight, but we've just immediately linked up in real time a video connection. So let's hear from the winner.
This is just blowing my mind. This is so much fun. No, stop. I'm not positive, but this feels like a first for VR. Boy, here we go. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's nice. Yes, you can eat apples in this game? It's really cool. Hey, it's a pig. It's me, it's a pig. For the smooth brains that do want to see me again, I will see you at the beginning of this video, because I was barefoot the entire video, and I bet none of you even noticed. Hi everyone, I'm so sorry I couldn't make it today, but if you are hearing this, it means that I've won an award for the incoherent ramblings I post onto YouTube every week, which leaves me speechless, to be quite honest. I thank everyone involved for their consideration and their time. It is hardworking, extremely intelligent people who make these dreams possible for smooth brains like myself who just want to escape into a video game. But if I could choose to address anyone in particular, it would be my community, who humbles me daily with their passion and their joy for this crossroads we find ourselves at between technology, entertainment, and frankly, art. You know who you are, and I would not be making this speech today without you. Thank you again, everyone. It means the world, and I cannot wait to see where this medium is headed next. Thank you.
Okay, this is gonna work. If a virtual tree falls in the virtual woods, but there's no hardware, okay. The next category is VR Hardware of the Year. Let's take a look at the finalists.
VR Hardware of the Year. Maestro DK3. Emerge Wave 1. Pico Neo 3 Link. Vaho Aero. Vive Flow. Xtal 3 Mixed Reality.
Alrighty, and the VR Hardware of the Year is Pico Neo 3 Link by Pico. Come on up, sir. And go crazy when he hits the stage. Go crazy when he hits the stage. Go crazy. Congratulations.
No, this is a great. I have to start. There are 4 groups I have to quickly mention. Number 1 is all of the Pico Europe employees. Like, we were an enterprise business less than 12 months ago, and everybody from the enterprise team, especially Oliver, Sebastian, pitched in to fucking bring this thing to market. Excuse me, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. Number 2, all of our partners, like we've got VR Expert here, Shaker, Invalon, Systematic, bringing this product to market. We did it in less than 3 months. Like, we conceived of it, we brought it to market, we found partners, we got it to the customer. It was an amazing, incredible experience. The team in China, like, there are so many technical people who work like 12, 14-hour days to make this happen. And then last is the community of users. So this is like, if you have a if you have a Pico Neo 3 Link, you're like sitting on like a DK1, DK2. This is like one of those seminal, amazing moments in the technology. Obviously, like, we've subsequently launched a product, the Pico 4. We've given every Neo 3 Link customer a 35% discount. Like, we are building a platform here, an alternative platform, a VR platform for content creators, for users. Like, go fucking Pico, man. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is AIXR, and I am one of the many virtual beings inhabiting the Sensorium Galaxy Metaverse. The world humans live in is affected by many rules that limit people's ability to discover their true selves and realize their full potential. The Metaverse is a blank canvas of endless opportunities where everyone can turn their wildest dreams into a collection of compelling adventures. This new realm measures the best from both physical and digital worlds to give us the power to create out of this world experiences, pushing the boundaries in social interactions, digital entertainment, and more. With the use of immersive technologies and Web3 infrastructure, we have a chance to rewrite the rules that define what's real and what's not. The future is here. And yes, you're part of it.
So I'm not going to lie, I'm a little confused right now what's going to happen next in our lives. So you're here now.
I am.
All right. Well, then let me say
in the physical world.
Welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much.
And how about a round of applause, well deserved, for Matthias?
Thank you, guys. Wow, so many great faces here. So we got so many things this year, right? Entertainment, location-based. Healthcare, so many great things, and I believe that in the past decade we've seen this industry going in so many interesting directions. But if there is, at the end of the day, one particular sector that has been pushing the boundaries year after year, that's gaming. And I believe we owe them so much in terms of innovation. And without further ado, I give you the finalist for VR Game of the Year.
VR Game of the Year. Vale VR. The Tale of Onagoro. Cities VR. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Last Call. Resident Evil 4. Wanderer. Finger Gun. Garden of the Sea. Moss Book 2. Zenith The Last City. Lone Echo 2. I Expect You to Die Too, The Spy and the Liar. After the Fall.
Wow. Okay. So, a little bit of intro here. So the winner for VR Game of the Year is Moss Book 2 by Polyarc Games. A big round of applauses. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we got someone from their team. Great. Congratulations.
Yes. So because, well, I'm Cass and Cherry from Cass and Cherry VR, and thank you. And since the Polyarc team could not be here today, they asked us to be there in their behalf to accept her award. And we are a huge fan of the game, so I think they definitely deserve it. But they have a little message for you all, so they recorded a video that we're going to show right now.
VR Game Awards. Thank you, and hello from Seattle, Washington. It is an honor to be up here. The team at Polyarc poured their hearts into Moss Book 2, and since the bulk of the game was done remotely, we thought, let's get everybody in here to celebrate and accept this award together. This game means a lot to all of us. I'd like to thank this amazing team. I'm fortunate to be crafting games with every single one of you. I'd also like to thank my wife and son. I love you both, as well as all of the friends and family of Polyarc who motivate and inspire us.
I just want to say thank you from the audio team. We're so grateful to get to help bring this world and Quill's story to you. So thank you so much for supporting us.
And thank you to the engineering team. You took risks in developing new game mechanics that have added depth to the Moss world, and you crossed discipline boundaries to improve tools used to shape a truly memorable experience.
I want to shout out the art team. You all made a living, breathing experience for players to get lost in. You made characters for players to connect with, and you made spectacular moments for players' jaws to drop. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, writing for VR is a special opportunity, and it's been such a joy to see so many players connect with Quill's story and become a true part of it. On behalf of the narrative team, thank you for playing.
And finally, on behalf of the character team, thank you so much for all the time you've spent with Quill and in our world that we've built for you guys. Our players are why we're here. Right, Quill? Oh, no, honey, they can't high five you here. I'm sorry.
Thanks again on behalf of Polyarc, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Fantastic, congratulations. And our next award is the Accenture VR Lifetime Achievement Award. It seems fitting that this award be handled by Accenture's Nick Rosa. So please, Nick, would you join us on stage?
All right. It's so good to see you all in presence, finally. So, at Accenture, as everyone in this room, we are all doing some amazing VR and Metaverse work. And we are here today to celebrate the hard work and all the achievements that we made in the last 12 months. But we're all standing on the shoulder of giants who built in the last 40 years the technology, the market, and the science behind everything that we do and everything that we love. This is the reason for this award. The recipient of this year's Accenture Lifetime Achievement VR Award has been chosen due to her outstanding and long-standing contribution to the immersive community, and for her positive influence upon future generation through her pioneering work with multisensory techniques in VR. After achieving a PhD from the University of East London, spent all of her career creating effective, meaningful, and practical implementation of virtual environments that are aimed to provide significant impact for humanity. She invented Ansible, a virtual world ecosystem designed for NASA to provide proven psychological benefits for future astronauts that are undertaking long missions to Mars, alleviating effects of social isolation and sensory deprivation. She's also founder and a chief scientist of All These Worlds, where she's developing technologies to rehabilitate and heal using first of its kind intelligence avatars. She's also part of the board of directors of the Virtual World Society, a nonprofit venture founded by our friend and also VR Award winner, Professor Tom Furness. Hi, Tom, we all love you. To help disadvantaged individuals, families, and communities to better their lives using VR, tutoring, and education. It's a pleasure and an honor to assign the Accenture Lifetime Achievement Award 2022 to Dr. Jacqueline Ford Murray. Please, a round of applause.
Wow, thank you. I'm going to go a little old school with my notes here. Paper, not a tablet. Just so I can keep on track and not give you all the highlights of that long career. And it's really hard to believe that I've spent a lifetime working in virtual reality. And there was so much we didn't know back in those early days. In fact, my first VR job was with US Army scientists Whitmer and Singer, doing basic perceptual studies in VR. We put eye charts and color charts in VR to see how well you could see. And while you could do colors pretty well, it turned out we were all legally blind in those early headsets. We also did some early VR wayfinding studies. And while overall VR was a new, intriguing, and exciting medium, it didn't offer much meaning for its participants. I don't even remember my first VR experience. So this all started me on a journey to figure out how to make VR more meaningful for people. I wanted to add that strong emotional component. Many of you watching, or maybe even in this audience, have been on similar journeys, some even longer than me. I've learned from all of you and have been inspired by you. We've all made VR what it is today, and it's a powerful new medium. And we hope to pass this knowledge on to the next generation, new generations of creators, researchers, and even participants. Yesterday, my team at All These Worlds did a walkthrough of a VR environment that we are building for a client. Now, it doesn't seem like it's a very exciting environment. It's a warehouse full of hazardous equipment that they will use for a study. But it was the first time some of them had ever been in VR. They were laughing and having so much fun exploring. The head of the research team said this was her favorite day. And this is how we know VR works. When it delights or heals or brings us together or makes us less lonely or changes our perspective and so much more. It's taken decades to start to understand why and how VR does what it does. Thanks to all the researchers, practitioners, and participants who have gotten us to this point. But we are still at the very beginning, and there's so much more to learn and discover. I also want to take a moment to urge everyone to join the Virtual World Society, an organization founded by legend and Accenture Award winner Tom Furness. This is an organization dedicated to preserving and pursuing VR for good. We are working towards that benevolent future that VR can bring, and we need everyone to be part of that. Finally, I want to sincerely thank Accenture for this award and for recognizing both the legacy and the future of this powerful new medium.
It's an honor. It's all for you.
Congratulations. Keep it going for Jackie. Wow, folks, we have almost come to the end of the evening, and in a moment I'll invite the winners to join me on stage. Now, by one way of thinking, we're all winners, but you know. So in a moment, I'll bring the winners on stage. I just want to say, again, layman who loves VR, you folks are, you make my life better. That's all I wanted to say, you know what I mean? And I called you nerds earlier, and I meant it, but you know, I'm a nerd too, all right? I'm a nerd too. I was on the math team in high school, and back when I was in high school, nerds would get beat up by the cool kids, you know what I mean? Not anymore. Now we live in a golden age of nerds, thanks to people like you know what I mean? Now, those cool kids that used to beat us up, now they drive the Ubers that take us to fancy events like this, right? So I want to see some nerd pride, all right? I'm going to ask a question, you tell me the answer. Who is it that creates the amazing VR experiences and technology that help us enjoy, learn, and experience the world in a different way? Say it with me. Nerds. Who create the cool Tesla cars that we all wish we drove? Say it with me. Nerds. Who make the iPhones in most all of our pockets right now? Nerds. Chinese children, but still. We get the profits, and I think that's what's important. So look, as the last thing I'm going to say to you before I bring the winners up, on behalf of myself and the folks that put this all together, I want to thank the sponsors. I want to thank y'all for being here. And of course, I want to thank all of the finalists and congratulate all the winners. In fact, let us bring the winners on stage right now. All the winners, come on up on stage and join me, please. Come on up, winners. And to the winners, may I also implore you, don't take your time. Just come on up here and join me and get it scooching as close to the middle as you can. For the picture, I kind of want everybody standing between the lectern and the plant. All right, everybody's between the lectern and the plant. Everybody scooching in. If you're holding the award, get up front where we can see it in the picture. If you don't have, it's more about short people holding the award. Everybody's scooching in. You're real tall. You stay back there. And Jack, why don't you come in the middle because you're more important than everybody. And but that's right. Scooching. Is this everybody? Is this all the winners? All right, I think we can start the picture countdown now, if you know what I mean, upstairs. So everybody, we're gonna now you guys scooch a little bit more because I think you got to don't be behind the podium. You want to be between there, and everybody's there is okay. All right. So now, seriously, it's time. Yeah, we're thumbs up. So now we're going to look at the camera, and first we're going to smile. Oh, look at us smiling, okay? And now we should really start that video countdown situation. That's right. Now don't look behind. Everybody look forward at the camera, all right? We're getting ready. We're not going to miss the big moments. That'd be crazy if we missed the big moment. Oh, boy. Not yet, though. No big moment yet. Because we're waiting patiently for the... We're ready. Oh, we're ready for the big moment. We're ready. Oh, boy. Here it comes. Oh, no, not quite yet. The smile on your face is going to etched in stone like a bad dream. Yeah. Oh, boy. There we are. One more time for your winners. Folks, this has been the VR Awards 2022. Have a drink, shake some hands, and have a great night. Congratulations. Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.